Hello and welcome to Still Got Legs, a Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. There's a mystery in Venice. Ladies are scared of the sun, but the one thing uglier than you is your mum.
I'll give you this. The cadence is getting better. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Still Got Legs, the only Doctor Who Rewatch podcast in the world. My name is Nathan. As always, I'm joined by my wonderful companion as we go on this adventure through time and space. But much like the episode of Vampires in Venice, we have picked up a stray this week. We have someone else joining us in the TARDIS. Is that? I guess that's something we do.
Do we? No, that's...
Well, that's what I'm saying now. That's what I'm saying now. Shut up. Anyway,
okay,
Catherine is here. Catherine is back. Hello, Catherine.
Ciao. Thank you for having me.
Getting into the Italian spirit. I love to see it. No, thank you for joining us again. It's good to have you back. Of course, Catherine from the Missing Mystic Falls Vampire Diaries podcast. Made sense to have you back for this episode?
Absolutely. If there's one thing I know, it's vampires in the 2010s.
Oh, yeah, it's the year that crosses over as well, isn't it? That is, this is the perfect crossover that people have been waiting for, I think.
This is the year Vampire Diaries started, 2010?
2000, end of 2009.
Oh, that was earlier than I thought. I thought it was like the teens for some reason. Again, shows how much I know about that show. There we are.
We're all just three people who have all guested on each other's podcasts, so I'll leave that there, Catherine. All right. Fine.
You're very welcome anytime.
Oh, I don't feel it, Catherine. Not
no,
now.
You are.
I'm only messing. It's okay. It's okay.
Ooh, the tension in the TARDIS, it just got very, very tense in here, guys.
Much like the episode. Very tense this week in the TARDIS.
Well, we'll get into it. We'll get into it, I'm sure. Or maybe we'll get into it now. Somehow I've been thrown off and I've forgotten how we start. Oh, no, that was it. Your intro. Okay.
Yeah. Good. We're circling back to the criticism on this. Good.
I have to give you your notes and criticisms. This is what we do now. Okay.
Fine, yeah. I'm really glad I took over this job. Go on.
Look, it was... Look, I wasn't... The your mum joke was good, I think.
Yeah.
Could have been a little better. Could have been workshopped.
It's the
a bit
direct
more,
quote from the show. How would it get better?
Yeah, but like I feel like putting in just a quote from the show is a little lazy.
Oh, someone listening to the old episodes, find it. He's done it. I know he's done it.
But I've improved, and I expect you to take on my wisdom from it.
Fuck you.
And improve yourself. Catherine, are you liking these intros from Lawrence so far?
They did start with no warning. So it was it's a surprise.
A shock to the system.
Yeah.
But I welcome and embrace change.
Oh, there we go. See, that's good. That's vaguely positive.
Yeah, I feel like you're dancing around something you want to say, Catherine, but it's fine.
No, change is good.
Change
sometimes.
is good. Change can be good sometimes, I guess.
There we go.
I'm here for a while. This was to give everyone ample warning in case everyone starts really enjoying my intros. We're doing them per Doctor now. So when Matt Smith goes, it's back to Nathan.
I might change it to per season.
Oh, you're really sick of them then.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see how this season goes, and then I'll make a decision. Anyway, we're here to discuss Series 5, Episode 6 of Doctor Who. That is Vampires in Venice. It's written by Toby Whithouse and directed by Johnny Campbell. Catherine, I'll go to you first since you're our gracious guest. What are your general thoughts on... well, actually, before that, I'll say, what are your general thoughts on this kind of era and vibe and, this kind of Moffat era as a whole?
Yeah, so I do really like the Moffat era. I think I've said on the show before, like, I kind of originally stopped watching around Peter Capaldi time, which is when a lot of people have. Like, I know they did. I do really like the Moffat era. There's so much good stuff. I love Matt Smith as the Doctor. I love the companions. I feel I have a slightly complicated relationship with Stephen Moffat's writing.
Okay. A lot of people do, so that's fine.
Yeah, I think he's a great writer, obviously. He's a really good showrunner. He brings lots of good stuff to the show. For me personally, this, particularly the next season, really aired as I got a little bit of older. So the stuff I let go on like the RTD era, 'cause I was just a kid. I feel like these seasons really started to air while I was getting older, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be really feminist and start thinking about how women are portrayed on screen. And I maybe didn't give the series quite the chance I did at the time. And I've gone back to it and I've softened in my old age. I still have a little bit of critique about how he particularly handles his female characters. I don't think it's as bad as yeah. I don't think he's as bad as like people on the internet make him out to be.
I don't either. Yeah.
Do you think when he wants to write a female character and he wants the audience to like them, he kind of defaults to, I think, what he finds attractive in a woman? And I don't know him, but if you told me Stephen Moffat's type was sassy, smart, flirty, domineering, and maybe lightly bisexual, I would believe it.
Yeah. Bisexual, but they won't say they're bisexual. They'll never admit it.
Yeah, the odd joke.
Yeah, they'll just like vaguely hint like they kissed a girl once and stuff. But yeah, they'll never actually say it. No, that's fair. That's fair. I think it does kind of his writing a little bit, and I've been very honest. He's my favorite writer of the show and stuff, and I do like his work. But yeah, I do agree there are certain issues, and I think he does kind of struggle a little bit from what I like to call that kind of like early 2010s era of feminism, where it was a bit, like I feel like people around our age were like just kind of dipping their toes into feminism and discovering it for the first time because we were quite young, obviously, and we were going a bit off the rails with it immediately. We're like, oh, women can't like pink, that's bad, actually, and like I feel like we're a lot better at it now, but it was very much that era of a good written female character is basically a female character who just acts like a man and is, just everything other than actually feminine in any single way. And I think it can suffer from a little bit of that sometimes. But for the most part, no, I think it's good stuff.
And I will say about Stephen Moffat, I think he's open to criticism because like I'm someone that like did maybe criticize Clara when she first appeared, but she I've gone back to the Capaldi era and she really develops into an interesting character with like one of the best arcs on the show. So I do think like it was not like he was set in his ways.
I am going to make this show so insufferable during the Clara years. You guys are not ready. Lawrence, your thoughts to all of that?
What, to everything or to the episode?
Not the episode yet, just the Moffat stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know so much of his stuff and like how it progresses. I know that
you know Sherlock.
I know. Don't do it. Don't start me on Sherlock, please. No, I don't know like all of his stuff, and I don't know how his writing kind of progresses as it goes on. Because if I've seen stuff, it's definitely like I haven't seen it as an adult enough to give it like a fair criticism. But no, I think he does welcome in this change. It definitely is a little bit of like you said, Nathan, the early 2010s feminism, where it's a little bit overcorrected, and it's a little bit like you lose kind of that layer of like women can be multifaceted characters and not just the opposite of what media traditionally portrays a woman as. But no, I think he's definitely got some cracks in his writing. I mean, we've seen like certain things, how he wrote
was
an
that
incredible
intentional sort of little tease.
Oh, a crack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't, but now that you've said it, I've tied it in, and that was my idea all along.
Well done.
No, but he's written obviously like a great character and a doctor and companion dynamic up to this point, and then last week we saw that he kind of went, "What if I threw it in the bin for fun?"
Yeah.
And like so, like there's like little things like that. But look, it's the next episode. I'm looking forward to seeing him apologize for it in a way, like change my mind, Stephen.
I do like that. There was a bit of a train wreck last week that we ended on, okay? But I do like that we are kind of almost immediately course-correcting from that in this episode. Anyway, as a whole, this episode, how are you feeling, Catherine? How are you feeling about vampires in Venice?
I had fun watching it. I feel, again, this episode is kind of thought as like a lower tier one in the show. It's definitely not one I've revisited, but it's kind of a bit of goofy fun with like I know Rory's been in the show before, but like a really good introduction to more of Rory, and I think he is like the standout of the episode.
Yeah, I think so too. I definitely think so too. Yeah, I think it's a good fun time generally. Not one that people often remember from this season, I think, but yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this. Certified banger? No, but I think it's up there. I think it's quite fun though. It's a good time.
It's fun, and I pose the question to you both. Imagine it without Rory's inclusion.
Awful.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it, right? Like, it's incredible how much Rory saves this episode from being a real stinker, in my opinion.
But I feel like that's not really fair, though, because that's like a major plot element.
No, I know, but like, in terms of like, you can judge Doctor Who on a few things, like, you know, like, what's the monster like, the location, or like, and location's something in this. I think it's done really, really well. It's definitely not just it's not Wales.
I got thoughts. Yeah, it's the Wales of Europe, and I'll get into that.
But no, I think I don't know. I understand what you're saying. If you took him out, it's kind of like kneecapping the story unfairly. But it's clear that they needed an extra element to make this sell, to make people enjoy this story more, I think.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. So we open in the city itself, Venice, in 1580, and there's a lovely bloke trying to get his daughter into this kind of... they're quite vague about it, but this school, convent, whatever the fuck is going on, where girls wear dresses and look pretty, I guess. They don't really seem to do much else, but that's what they do, and that gives them opportunities, I guess. And then she gets accepted into this weird school, but again, the vibes are immediately off with this. How are we feeling about this opening scene?
It's fun. I mean, yeah, I don't feel it's like particularly groundbreaking.
Yeah.
I think they're fucking creepy. They do like a proper circle of Isabel and like go around it, which is just a bit gross, but helps add to like the vibe.
Yeah, they do give off these creepy... the whole relationship between this kind of like mother-son character is quite... I'm unsure of how to describe it other than incestuous. Because
I mean, I think that's the exact word. Yeah. I don't think you need to go any further than that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very Lannister-like in that approach. It does really give off those mummy vibes, you know? And it's...
You know that Game of Thrones kid who was like, the joke of the scene was that he was like a fucking 10-year-old still breastfeeding.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Yeah, like that. That's this kid grown up.
it very much feels like it. Yeah. But yeah, I like the way it kind of, this scene kind of ends with like us getting the little reveal of the vampire teeth, which aren't really vampire teeth, but it's a good little lead into things before we cut to Rory drunkenly screaming down a phone, which is good stuff.
I did have thoughts about the fangs. If we wanted to
I was
talk
about
them.
to ask you about them. Go on.
I would love to hear this.
I do have intense thoughts about vampire fangs. I always hate when the fangs aren't on the like incisors. So I think like True Blood, they have it on like the front two teeth or something, which just looks like really goofy.
Oh my God.
This I'll forgive it because they're kind of like, it's like a monster mouth, and I like that they have bottom fangs too. Which like most vampire media doesn't. Though I will say the fangs they have would, not to nitpick, the fangs they had would never make the bite we see on them later.
yeah, that's quite fun. Do they have fangs in the Vampire Diaries?
They do. They have them on the proper teeth. They have them on the right teeth, and they're just nice little ones that are easy for the actors to wear, unlike I think these ones.
Is it one of those things like where, because like in most vampire media I've seen, it's the case where like they just have normal teeth for like 90% of the time, but then when they go vampire they like activate their vampire teeth. Is that the case?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
You don't do that before you chow down on a meal? Or activate
no,
your
often.
teeth?
yeah, I often activate my teeth. Yeah.
Catherine, what do you think about the fang to gum ratio? Because I think it's off.
Yeah. Well, I assume it's the prop. They have to cover all the gums. I assume that's why, but it makes it look... I think that kind of gives the game away early that they're not actually vampires. Is that it's quite an alien mouth.
Yeah. I like the the guy as well, the incest kid. He's obviously got the mouthpiece in scenes before he reveals it, because his jaw is so protruding. Like whenever he's just skulking in the background, he's got the biggest mouth you've ever seen.
It's like that meme that that Tom Holland always has something in his mouth meme. Really, it just looks like that. You can tell he's just hiding something in there.
Yeah, he's got the frog face, I think he calls it, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. So we cut to Rory at his stag do. Drunkenly screaming down the phone. This is a good bit of fun. I like this. We're reintroduced to Rory. He's on his stag do and he's calling Amy because he loves her. That's sweet. That's nice, isn't it?
It's a proper laddie call as well. Like, you can tell he's had a few, and he's like, because I haven't told you in 7 hours that I love you, and that is ridiculous or something. Like, it's I like his stag do setting as well. Like, it's very like. The local pub were just caught off guard by these like fucking 12 guys that just came in their t-shirts, because there's still like the regulars there. There's still the old guys with their Guinnesses that are just around in the pub, and like, I guess this is tonight. I guess this is happening right now.
And like the bright pub lights are on in the middle of
there's
the
no
night.
Atmosphere whatsoever. It's just like they've hijacked a pub and they went, okay, I guess.
Well, they're in Ledworth, probably. Is there much to do in Ledworth?
Well, there's enough. This was the other thing. Ledworth is apparently big enough to not only support Amy's kissogram business, but also a second strip. Well, not that Amy's a stripper, but another stripper.
Yeah.
This village is meant to be so small.
Oh, I never thought about that. Yeah.
Do you reckon like a lot of Rory's mates have been prior clients? Like, this is because they're all like men of the age to be out being silly. Like, I don't know. That's very.
I learned this week, thanks to the Discord server, shout out to the Discord server, a kissogram was not made up for Doctor Who, and it's a real thing. There was someone who joined who said they were a teen in the 80s, so I'm no longer the oldest person in there, so that was fun. and yeah, kissograms very much used to be a thing back in the day, which I still find so bizarre. But, I mean... You guys do you, I guess.
I've never understood that culture at large. Anyway, it's like
I cannot understand the idea of we're having a party. Should we call someone over so we can all kiss them?
Yeah, let's call over a girl that definitely doesn't want to be here. Like it's just like, or like she's doing her job, whatever, but like she's not interested in any of you. Like, what are you getting out of this?
Well, they get a kiss.
But come on now. I would feel so strange with this.
Yeah. Of course you would.
Yeah. I don't like it. Anyway, the doctor... Well, a cake is delivered. A big old cake. Is it wheeled in? How does it get in?
It's kind of like pushed in. What I enjoy with this is the very like stereotypical traditional stripper music is playing. It's literally ba-da-da, da-da-da, which is good fun.
I like the inclusion that not only have they left a very nice lady called Lucy who's in a bikini out in the cold, but like the doctor just throws in and she's definitely diabetic as well.
Yeah.
Just such a niche little detail that only the doctor could have just picked up on, I guess.
Did you notice while the doctor was popping out of the cake, one of the men who was definitely not part of the stag, one of like the older blokes, was just stood there wringing his hands together. Like, couldn't wait to see this semi-naked woman.
It's true. I know. It's that. He looked a bit too into it, if I'm honest.
What was his face like when the doctor popped out? Was he like immeasurably disappointed or
vaguely shocked like everyone else?
Okay,
just vaguely confused and not quite sure how to deal with this foppish man who just appeared. What was I going to say there? Doctor cake, doctor stripper. No, it's gone.
I mean, there's not much that goes on in the scene other than the doctor loudly declares that, like, it sounds like it's about to be a speech about Rory and Amy, and then he's like, yes. Amy, she kissed me, and then it's like, there's a pint glass dropping sound effect.
That was it. It was the pint glass. Yeah, it was the immediate like threat of someone smashing a bottle because this guy kissed Rory's woman. So
is that how you... I just thought it was someone dropped a drink in shock, but Nathan reckons they're just someone's ready to go.
That's how I took it, didn't you?
No.
What about you, Catherine? No? Okay.
Oh, God. At least I know Nathan's loyal. If someone did this on my stag, Nathan's like, listen, all right? You don't bring that attitude here, okay?
Well, no, what I do like about it is I like the doctor knows the bro code, all right? The doctor's like, hey, this woman tried to kiss me. And to be fair, he did kiss her back. But, like, he's like, hey, that's not on. I'm going to tell your fiancé. So he immediately honors the bro code and tells Rory about it. And I like that. That's nice of him, I guess.
Yeah.
He does it in the wrong way. Don't pop up out of the cake and do it in front of everyone. But we know this man can't understand social cues. We know this guy doesn't know what's going on. So
even the build up to him being kissed last week, it was very much like, I don't get what's happening. I'm just here, and I'm unsure of what the vibe is right now.
What I like about this episode with the Doctor and Amy, it like completely removes the Doctor from being like a sexual partner. He's like anti-sexual. He can't understand like the innuendos like that's being said at various points. So I think even though last week wasn't great, it really makes it clear from this episode that it is not Amy and the Doctor. It is not a romance between the two of them at all.
Somehow, Eleven and Matt Smith seem to toe that line of being the most asexual, but at the same time the most aggressively sexual Doctor there is. You know, there's like scenes where like he doesn't understand the sex and gets very uncomfortable at the thought of it, and like quickly brushes over conversations about sex. But then there's other times where he's just like naked under someone's dress, and he's like, "Yeah, we just had sex. We're fun. Yeah." It's bizarre, really.
He straddles that line. Yeah, I remember, like, obviously not yet, but in future episodes to come, there are people that confront him with the idea of sex, and he's very much like, that's just stuff that happens. Yeah. Ugh! Kind of like, get away. Yeah.
I've never had sex. I don't think about that.
But then there's a moment in this episode later on where, like, one of the vampires says something that, like, is barely an innuendo, and he's like, ooh, very nice.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, this is a little bit of why this era, the Moffat era, gets a reputation as just being very horny, and it's hornier than the the horny RTD era was very not horny at all. It was very sexless. The RTD era, I think.
It was, yeah.
Which is fine because it's Doctor Who. You know, I don't need.
Yeah, the target audience were children. Yeah,
I don't need Doctor Who to be a sexually aggressive show in any way. Really,
RTD saved up all of the sex for like the first season of Torchwood. He was like, imagine if everyone fucked everyone all the fucking time.
Yeah, and it was almost never consensual.
Yeah.
So.
And then everyone shoots each other in the head. That's what Torchwood is.
As we know, that's what Torchwood is.
Jack, you've been too busy having sex this episode to deal with the aliens. Just shoot them in the head. I'm busy having sex right now.
Have you seen Torchwood, Catherine?
Oh, yeah, I know Torchwood well.
That was very fun. I liked that quite a lot. There we go. Unfortunately, we all know Torchwood. I think it's mostly good. What happens next, Lawrence? Guide us through this.
So we weirdly like skip over the awkwardness of that conversation, and we kind of lead after the sting anyway, and we lead immediately into Rory is already in the TARDIS. He is aboard. We're not treated to a reveal of whoa, what's behind these small box doors. And before we get into the scene, I will just say that they forgot about him supposedly being drunk very quickly. He's very quickly sober, and I like to imagine how much extra fun they could have got out of this episode if the entire episode was just as it is, but Rory was like borderline smashed, and it was just like, what the fuck's going on? What's all this?
I think that's for the bear. I think you don't want to have Arthur Darvill stumbling through drunk acting for the entire episode, because that can be a little rough. I think
it could be, but he could pull it off. He's got the chops easily.
He's good.
Yeah.
I like him, but I don't know about that one. I think it's a change for the bear.
Yeah. Catherine, what do you make of this? It's a different take on a TARDIS reveal, noticeably. What do you make of Rory's kind of intro to that space?
I think it's good. It straight away positions him different from other companions who are infatuated with the whole concept of space travel and like more often than not infatuated with the Doctor. So it kind of implies what it shows later in the episode, that he just sees things differently because he's not like obsessed with the Doctor and this, so he can have like a more impartial take.
That is very much Rory's vibe, really. He's not... Amy is very much caught up in the fairy tale and the wonderness of all this stuff, and he's a bit more grounded and down to earth, and he, you know, we don't necessarily get a sense of this in this episode, but in times to come, he's much more... He can see the beauty and the wonder in just the more ordinary stuff, which I think is quite enjoyable. It's quite fun dynamic, but yeah, I like how he's just a little bit unbothered by it. He's just a little bit like, bigger on the inside, who cares? I don't give a fuck, you know. It's
if he's like unbothered as well, it like we saw a couple of episodes ago how much it pisses the Doctor off when someone isn't impressed immediately by the stuff around them. Like even River flying the TARDIS, he's like, I don't get to show off. This is bullshit. I hate this. And he kind of gets that again here, like Rory's saying after Prisoner Zero, he's like looked up on the latest theories, which like I guess explains this away to him.
The latest theories of parallel universes, which I think like the ancient Greeks thought of, but you know, Rory's on the pulse of scientific breakthrough.
Yeah.
I kind of like put it away in my head as just like previously Rory knew absolutely fucking nothing and was just like, whoa, this is all new to me. This is good stuff. I like the Doctor is on a swing with his goggles on.
He is, yeah. I like that. That's quite fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We were speaking about the Doctor being sexless, but he has installed a swing in the basement of his TARDIS. I'm just...
Are you implying it's a sex swing?
I'm not implying anything. That's for you to decide. All right? You can take away what you make.
Mechanic swing. I like it.
Yeah.
No, I like this because it's a strength of this new TARDIS design in that we can see it from more interesting angles. It's not just a gross, disgusting, ugly looking.
All right.
None of us like, and we all have a bad time watching.
Be the bigger man, Nathan. Just say something fair. All right.
I never will. No. It's nice. Yeah, we have a glass floor. Let's use it.
Yeah. It is good. I like that I never really noticed it before in season 5, but there's a really nice it's obviously not there on the day, but there's an echo when the Doctor's under the glass floor. There's a nice little echo that stops as he transitions to go back upstairs. Yeah, it's good. I'm liking seeing a lot more of this space where he actually lives. What? I can see you grinning. So what is it?
No, it's just because I realised there's it's not even an episode. It's like a mini-sode, which I guess we'll get to on YouTube at some point. But like, there's a mini-sode where the whole like point of conflict in it happened because Amy is wearing a skirt and there's a glass floor in the TARDIS. So, is that classic Moffat writing?
Yeah.
Oh dear. I have recently, obviously doing so much Doctor Who talk stuff. My recommended is mostly Doctor Who on YouTube now. And I recently came across, I didn't click on it because I didn't want it to like spoil stuff that was coming up that I maybe hadn't seen. But the title of it was quite self-explanatory, and it was Stephen Moffat writing Doctor Who with one hand.
I've seen that video.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, this carries on then, does it? This gets continuously hornier.
And yes, it does.
The look of sadness on both of your faces when you had to confirm that, yeah, it does. It happens. Okay.
I guess we can track how horny this show gets going forward. So that's something to look forward to. Anyway, we should get going. We're like half an hour into this bitch. So we arrive in Venice, which is fun. I love the Doctor stepping out of the TARDIS, giving us a little bit of Italian as we walk around a city that is very much not Venice, but kind of looks like it, I guess. You know?
They built a set and they showed it off. I like it, all right?
There's a woman with a goat. Who I don't know if either of you watch Confidential, but it's very fun that this woman with a goat was just someone walking past on the day, and they're like, oh, come, be in the show, yeah?
Wait, seriously? There was just a spare goat?
There was just a woman with a goat, yeah, and they're just like, Booker, we're having it now.
Incredible. Yeah, I know we'll sell this. Just the spare goat we saw.
She didn't speak a word of English, and they're just trying to direct her and tell her what to do. It was quite good stuff, bless her. I wonder where she is now. I hope she's doing well. That's
good industry practice. Go somewhere and ask local people to help out. I like that.
Okay.
I mean, was she paid?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I...
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. They gave her a few whatever the local currency is. I'm not sure. It's Croatia, so Croatian dollars, let's say.
Just butchered that.
Yeah.
The Doctor owes Casanova a chicken, it's revealed.
Good fun.
That's a bit of fun. And there's also a plague inspector. His job is to check for aliens. But it's our first little hint that there's something underway. There's something not quite right in this local town of Venice. A guy is looking out for, what does he say? I think he says visitors from foreign lands who might bring in the plague.
Yeah. Well, that's what aliens were. Aliens hasn't always meant little green guys and spaceships and stuff. You know, it's.
Oh, really? But did they used to describe other things as aliens?
Yeah, just anyone from a foreign land was an alien. You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's where it comes from. You always learn stuff on this show.
I do. I'm not very cultured, apparently. All right? I'm fine with this. I'm learning. This is a good use of my time.
I like that we're educating you. You know, we're broadening your horizons.
All right, calm down. Stop now.
But it's true. You learn so much. You said it yourself.
I said it. You don't say it. I can say it.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, what's going on? What's happening next?
They have a little joke where Rory's their eunuch.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Rory. He doesn't get the Mickey treatment, I think. I think it's better than that, but he does get a little bit. He's a bit of a blunt of the joke a few times in this episode. Bless him.
There's a specific scene later on where it's just like, I'd go back to the TARDIS and sulk if that was me. Like I couldn't carry on after this humiliation.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So they piss off a little bit. There's some ladies having a look down. We saw them earlier with their kind of veiled cloaks. And the guy who was kind of just giving his daughter to a school in some kind of vague capacity is now.
As one does.
Yeah, exactly. We've all been there. But yeah, he's kind of just out trying to find his daughter, Isabella. I think her name was Isabella.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's kind of like pulling down their cloaks in the middle of the day, and then getting a look in at what's going on. But he gets pushed away, and he sees some more teeth, so we thought, vampire teeth.
I do like the way the kind of like. I like the aesthetic of the vampire girls. First of all, it's quite. Is it traditional vampire? I guess kind of this like flowing white dress, pretty girl sort of thing.
I think for like female vampires, like
Yeah.
maybe not the big crazy backcombed hair
Okay, yeah.
that was madness. But the beautiful pale women in white dresses, I think, is very traditional vampire.
Yeah. That gives me vampire vibes. Yeah. What was you going to say, Lawrence?
I'll say it's not quite the Vampire Diaries leather jackets that everyone's always in. It's not quite. It's not quite. Is it Damon that always wears the leather jacket? Yeah.
Well, it's depending on who's the bad boy that episode. So
I see.
one of them goes through their bad boy era, they put on a leather jacket.
And was it? I don't know if you've got to it yet. A lot of a main character in the 1920s misbehaving.
We're not there yet, but yeah, he's.
Is he wearing some kind of 1920s equivalent?
He wears leather jackets when he's in the modern day. So that's how you know he's the new villain. There
we go. Oh, perfect. There we go. Amazing.
I feel so lost now.
Go on.
This is Klaus, who you didn't get to meet, Nathan.
Oh, Klaus, yeah. I met someone in Klaus's... No, I met Klaus in someone's body, didn't I? Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, in pro-gun, pro-Trump, weird Alaric Saltzman's body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of... I know way more about the behind-the-scenes drama of the cast than I remember about the show.
We've really got to get you on.
haven't been invited on.
I know, exactly. Come on. Listen, we had to just sidetrack that quickly. I needed to just throw my knowledge out there.
I like this little moment. I like the way the vampire lady rushes in and like hisses at him like an angry cat. That sort of stuff. Do vampires do that? I don't know, but I like it.
It's threatening enough. Does the job, doesn't it? We're a vampire. Piss off. The next note I've got is about the I don't know his actual name. The incest kid laying in his mum's lap, and if that's
Francesco?
Not...
Is it Francesco?
Francesco, yeah.
Francesco, okay. Francesco laying in his mum's lap, and if that is not everything you need to know about this character, then it's very...
That you were saying about, the the Game of Thrones kid whose whole deal was he's breastfeeding. Like, this scene could very easily be that.
Yeah, exactly. Just a couple minutes later.
Yeah. It's pretty grim. Yeah,
it's so strange.
It's kind of funny how pathetic he is, though.
Yeah,
like I kind of like how pathetic he is, and he just slumps down like on his mum. Is like, oh, mummy, I'm so sad, mummy, and whatever. I hate it here, mummy. Let's go see my brother's mummy. You know,
of the 10,000 that stayed behind and waited patiently, he was the one that was like, "Where's mum going, mum? No."
Yeah, and he's a little run. He's a little run who his mum can't leave alone. So she's like, "Oh fuck, I better take him with me." You know,
I'll give this. Has anyone got a spare fucking make human device? All right, just give it to this stupid idiot. Rory has questions for Amy.
What are the questions? What does he ask?
Well, he's kind of just saying that, like, is he? Well, I can't remember exactly the questions he asked, but it's more a case of like, what's the vibe? What's this situation? Because he has just been picked up, and suddenly in a night, Amy has had like weeks worth of adventures, and Rory's like, I am not computing this very well right now.
Yeah.
I like their dynamic. It's very much a case of they start quite awkward and distant because there's obviously been some breach in trust, but then it's very much like, oh, these two can overcome some stuff quite quickly. When Amy's like, come on, we're in Venice in 1580, like we're not going to be here again. Let's enjoy this, and they very quickly come back together in a nice way.
Yes, I like their dynamic, but like, they come back together by her giving him like a little platonic punch on the arm, which nothing says reassuring your fiance.
No.
Like being like, here you go, brother.
It's layered. She's still awkward about him, but it's like that bond is there, but there's a big elephant in the room that hasn't quite been addressed fully yet.
I agree, but I think that's kind of a point of the episode, though. I feel like a bit of this episode is like Amy and Rory getting their vibe back and actually, you know, acting like a couple and being in love, which is a bit of fun. But yeah, is it because they make a decision to not be like, so you kissed another man? Like, they really don't address it when you think about it. They just like Rory's like a little bit miffed off. He's a little bit pissed and stuff, but they never like outwardly address it. Really, what do you think about that? Is that good? Is that bad? Would you have liked them to be like have a confrontation about it, or is it better that it's not really said and dealt with in other ways? I guess.
I think it's hard. Like, I do find it odd that Rory talks to the doctor about it and not his fiance. But I do think part of it is, and you see it like at various points in this episode that we'll get onto, he really just knows Amy. So like, if you think about, he's grown up with her, he knows like what a weird thing the doctor has come into her life and like made her have therapy and stuff. So I think he just understands that it's a really complicated relationship that she has with him. But yeah, I think it would have been better maybe addressed a bit more.
I guess I never really thought about it like that, about Rory knowing that Amy's always had a fascination with this character, and when you think about it, he is the direct cause of probably a lot of her childhood trauma and going to therapy and everything like that. So yeah, I guess in that sense, I kind of like that he's a little bit like wary of the doctor in that sense. That makes sense.
He's one of the the only people that hasn't been, like you said earlier, Catherine, like he's not been enchanted by him. The only things he knows about the doctor is like, you've just made this woman I love really unhappy for a large period of her life. Like it's not a great thing, and he's obviously kind of cautious that he's re-entered her life, and that she's as she was 12 years old, just completely taken by and like under his spell again. I think it's a weird position they were put in terms of like dealing with it, but then my response would be like, just don't fucking write it. Don't have them kiss. It's like if the reason the episode struggles to deal with it is because it's like too complex for them to find a reasonable way out of it, then like you put yourself in the box, dude. Like what'd you do that for?
I think you're right. Like, it's enough of a story that Amy abandoned him on their wedding night. You don't need to. You can do the same story with that without needing to add in a weird forced kiss.
Yeah, 100%.
And you can get away with that as well, because it's like, it's not like she was ever running away from him. She just subconsciously put him on the back burner. She's had so many nights that should have been her wedding night in linear terms, but she's just literally put it off and put it off and put it off. Yeah, we spoke about last week anyway how Stephen Moffat did, like, he has said, like, it was just me avoiding writing a better scene. Like, I just was like, I know what I want to express, and it's the worst way of him expressing it. But yeah.
As a married man, Lawrence, how would you feel if on the night before your wedding, your partner kissed another man?
I wouldn't be chuffed about it, I'll be honest. Like, it wouldn't. I don't know. For me, I guess it's not. It wouldn't have been worth throwing an entire relationship away for over. But like I'm needing an extra day. Like, I'm not waking up that morning and being like, oh, sunshines and rainbows here. No, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be very strange. But then also like Rory's comfortable in this scenario. If her job is a kissogram, he's not like insecure, which is why it makes the dynamic between him and the Doctor more interesting. Like,
yeah, we spoke about this last week, but it's different from. It's not just her doing a regular job, though, is it? You know?
No, yeah, not at all. But it's like this is. It shows that he's obviously a very secure man in himself and his relationship. So when he does get the arse about it, it's fairly justified, I think.
Yeah.
If my wife is listening to this, don't do that. The ship has sailed anyway, but don't do that.
Your wife is not listening to this.
No, she's not. She was watching this episode, and she was like, at little moments where Rory was being disrespected, she was like, "This guy's a bitch." She doesn't know him from like the show. So she was like, "This guy is standing for like he's putting up with way too much. He doesn't deserve."
Oh, that's fun.
It was very fun. It was very fun to see that outside perspective.
So this weird little incest boy, he kills a flower girl. So that's a bit of fun. He sucks her blood. He does the vampire thing. He drinks from her, drinks her blood, and then just jumps into a river when Amy follows him because he's very scared of Amy, I guess. While Amy and Rory start actually having a little bit of fun and are just taking selfies in and around Venice, which is very fun.
They almost feel like they're trying to conceal the phone. Like, quick, no one's here. Like, let's do this so we don't blow some minds.
Oh, I didn't get that vibe at all.
Do you not?
Rory's walking around in a shirt with his and Amy's face on it. People should be looking at that and be like, witchcraft, all right?
Yeah.
What is that? And like, this is the era where a painting can blow people's minds. So they see a photograph, what are they thinking, you know?
And next to the person on the jumper, they can see it's like perfect.
Oh yeah, photo as well. Yeah. Oh god.
Is this an original Da Vinci? What's going on here? This is amazing. Wow.
How has a painter finally scribed this into your fabrics?
Exactly.
Incredible work.
Yeah.
I like that Rory immediately. Again, it's easy to forget like what these people are and what they do in these kind of big adventures. But Rory's a nurse. He just runs to immediately just to the girl's side, checks her pulse, which is a handy place to be looking considering he needs to see the vampire bite. But no, it's good. I like it's Rory's immediately like he's not useless. He's got that Martha quality where it's like, if I'm standing around, I could be helping someone. So I'm just going to go deal with that, even if I don't know what the fuck's going on, basically.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Amy's the action hero and goes hunting. Also, it was weird that, like, they run up and they see this guy who's very clearly just killed this woman. And then they all just, like, have an awkward moment where they stare at each other. And then he just pulls his cloak up and walks away. Okay.
He doesn't know what to do. He needs his mum there. He hasn't got his advice.
He's a weird incest boy. He doesn't know what's going on. Yeah.
Catherine, are you familiar at all with the early Assassin's Creed games?
Oh, God.
No, but
fair enough.
You can still make your point.
Okay, I like I mean, it comes back in a big way later on, but I like that the Doctor's sneaking past some guards. It's very like, let's cause a distraction and shuffle around these things. I don't know, did you not get the vibe watching this? It's Italy. It's the time period. All right.
It is. It's just because it's the same setting. Okay. I was going to ask earlier if anyone had been to Venice, but then I could just see you immediately saying yes in Assassin's Creed 2 or whatever. So I held off on that.
Yeah. Is that in Venice?
Is that AC2? Yeah.
Okay,
well, part of it is anyway. Yeah. AC2 is Florence.
That's right.
Venice. And Tuscany, parts of Tuscany.
Okay, yeah. No, you're right. You called me out. I would have absolutely made that joke.
There you go.
And I'm glad I'm that predictable too.
I know you.
Oh, it's like that meme of like Bart has 6 cool sayings or something from the toy. Yeah.
So what's your point? The Doctor is sneaking in, and that reminded you of Assassin's Creed, basically.
Well, that's the point. But then also he's looking in the mirror. We get some more what we assume to be vampire lore. Is this, Catherine? How vampire lore is this? The not appearing.
Even I know this is vampire lore.
I meant within the confines of the Vampire Diaries, because this is the crossover episode. Let's not forget.
Okay, not in the. They have reflections in the Vampire Diaries. I don't know if the no reflection comes from Bram Stoker, but definitely the idea that like they don't have a reflection because they don't have a soul comes from Bram Stoker.
Ooh,
the one where he's got the fucked head, right? The Gary Oldman.
Yeah, but like the book Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't read. I just know that from the movie.
Lawrence only knows movies. Okay,
listen.
I'm so sorry.
No, not true, Nathan. I know a little bit of the Oppenheimer book. Okay. So get off my back.
Yeah.
He's read the Succession scripts.
Exactly, Nathan. So come on.
He's read the Succession script and the first chapter of Oppenheimer, which he's been struggling through for about 6 months now.
I'm not a natural reader, okay? It doesn't come easy to me. And I'll thank you to not make fun of me in a public forum, please.
Okay.
But yeah, all right. So they're not appearing in the reflection. What do the vampires say to him? This is that innuendo bit. What do they say?
Well, they say, "Who are you?" In this weird kind of creepy, all speaking at once, hive mind voice sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then I can't really remember what else they say. Do they say something innuendo like?
I wrote it down actually. It's
okay.
They'll call the steward if he's lucky, with a little bit of a wink and a little smirk. And the
Is that an innuendo?
I don't think it's an innuendo, but the Doctor reacts to it as if he's like, "That's horny." Like it's very. Did you not? Someone needs to pull up this scene. Am I going crazy?
No, I think he's just more excited because he's like, "Oh, vampires," you know. I think he's just more. He's not horny. I don't think.
Maybe I'm horny. I don't know what's
happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm watching Doctor Who with one hand.
Oh, come on now.
Oh, no.
Lowering the tone of this podcast, which has always been above board.
Yes,
okay?
of course. Yeah. We're not. Yeah. I'm sorry, Catherine. All right, he's brandishing a library card, his old library card by mistake instead of the psychic paper.
This is a bit of fun. I love this. All right, it's good stuff. He thinks he's pulling out the fucking psychic paper. It's a library card. It's got William Hartnell. Thank you. Yes, William Hartnell's face on it. First Doctor. Very fun. I love that. This is a good bit of fun. This is good continuity, I think.
I tried to pause it to make out the writing. It's not in frame. It's not like focused on. You can't make it out, which is a shame. But yeah, I like this. I knew watching it. I was like, Nathan's gonna fucking adore this. It's a little joke I'd forgotten completely was in this.
Yeah,
little sight gag.
Good bit of fun. Well, I in this scene, I like how the Doctor is. Yeah, he does get very excited by the prospect of vampires. I like the way he's looking in the mirror, looking back at the girls, trying to like figure out what's going on. And I think he even says, "Am I thinking what I think I'm thinking?" Which I think is just very fun. That's just a very fun line. It seems very 11. And yeah, he's just very excited by the whole prospect of vampires in Venice. But yeah, that's a good bit of fun. I like that.
Even like running out the door, he's very much like, I'd rather stay and investigate this more, but like I'll come back. I'll come back tonight or something.
It's the same energy as like Tooth and Claw when like the Doctor and Rose were like really excited about there being a werewolf. Like it's the same thing.
That's a good bit of fun. Yeah. And then because then he meets up with Amy, and they're both very much like, "Oh, vampires! This is fun.
Yeah.
Let's have a little dance in the street. You know, this is vampires." And then Rory's like, "I saw a vampire too, actually."
No one cares, Rory.
Yeah, and Rory, shut up, Rory.
It's the way that the doctor's like, yeah, I know Amy.
Yeah.
Anyway, like,
Oh, poor Rory. Poor Rory. So at that point they go back to the doctor's new friend's house, and I guess we didn't talk about this, but he met the guy who was trying to get his daughter back from the school, and they're good mates now. And they're trying to like figure out a way to get into the school, trying to figure out a way to break in and figure out what the best option is. And then the writer was like, okay, so we're just going to spend 5 minutes making fun of Rory now, okay?
this is the scene I said, if I was Rory, I'd have gone to the TARDIS in a sulk. Like,
Yeah.
the beating he receives here is merciless for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. You do have to feel for the guy during this scene, I think.
do.
But even when Amy's like volunteering and she's starting to persuade the doctor, like as soon as she starts, there's like one little moment where Rory just like really like to himself shakes his head, and it's like really sad to see that he like knows completely what she's about to do, and he knows he also can't stop her.
Yeah, he's very powerless to like Amy's decision, because that's the fun line with Rory. He's very much like, this is Amy's choice entirely, but I really wish she weren't making this right now. Like,
Was that intentional?
no, like, I realized it when I said it. I wasn't
Okay.
going to bring it up. All right.
You know what I'm like. I hear
I
these
know.
things, and I have to follow through on them.
Show's going to go on for long enough where like most phrases are an episode title or some description, and you're just going to be you won't be able to talk to Nathan without him being like, actually, that's season 17. This episode.
No, but I hear it, and then I just immediately stop listening to what you're saying.
I know, because you sit. It's like you patiently wait. It's like someone adds a cue to an item. You're just like, I'll sit here, ready for.
I'm holding on to this.
Yeah.
now.
Oh, Lawrence's mouth has stopped moving. Did you know that that's an episode title of Doctor Who?
So whatever you said after that, I have no idea.
Well, do you know what? You're not privy to it anymore, all right? That's for me and Catherine and not you.
Okay.
You have
Well,
to
I'll hear
live
it when
with
I
it.
edit. So that's fine.
Yeah, you have to wait,
guess.
and you won't be able to contribute.
Oh, fuck, he's got me. He's got me. I tell you what I do like in this scene. I like the moment where, I can't even remember what he says, but just the moment where the doctor does the little vampire impression. And I think he goes like, vampire, or something like that. That doesn't work over an audio form. But you know the moment. That's good fun. I like that.
He does like the open mouth, kind of like the hiss of a word kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Fang talk, I guess.
I love the dynamics. We spoke about like how the scene in the 11th hour when Rory is first introduced to us, and we spoke about how like it's already so interesting that these three characters are so connected, just from like they've never met, but this is how you write character relationships and dynamics, because every single one of them means 20 things to each other differently, and you kind of get that. A return of that here in it's more Rory bashing, but like at the same time it's very fun that Amy's like, oh, it would be weird for the doctor to play my brother, but you can play my brother while he's wearing the stag shirt of them two madly in love encapsulated in a heart. And she's like, no, that they wouldn't believe that, no way.
I love Amy, but that is a feral thing to say to your
It's
fiance.
so mean.
Evil.
It's so rough, man. There's so uncalled for. There's no need for it at all, and it's really not helping that like this other guy is like, wait, she's married to you?
Yeah.
I thought she was with this guy. You know,
He's like, look at the shirt, man. Come on.
he doesn't know what that is. Again, he thinks it's
Oh
a
yeah,
painting.
true.
He thinks it's a Da Vinci original. He doesn't know.
Do you reckon when they swap clothes later on and he's putting this on, he's like, whoa, this is something else.
I tell you what, it's now a good time to have a little suit talk segment.
Why not? Good as any.
Okay, so we got the beautiful blue back.
Yep.
We got the beautiful blue bow tie, beautiful blue braces, beautiful barely blue shirt, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Amy's dripping.
Yeah.
She's no longer in her Angel's outfit. She's had a little bit of a change. She's got this little She's got the scarf, which I enjoy. It's a good look for Amy, this scarf jacket sort of look. How are you feeling about this, Catherine?
Love it. I used to wear my scarf like backwards because Amy Pond wore her backwards. And I thought I'd look like Karen Gillan if I did that.
Oh, good. Nathan, that's you revealed. I don't know how much of it stayed in. I think it was the first minisode we did that you were like, this era changed your fashion sense. You were showing up to the pub in a bow tie and like doing your hair a similar way and everything.
I very much did. Yeah, Matt Smith just like the 11th Doctor really changed my whole vibe. I guess I was like, I'm gonna copy that exactly, and then just be insufferable for a few years, you know. Just show up to functions in a bow tie and like a checkered shirt, and everyone's like, "Oh, this fucking idiot again," you know.
People are trying to talk to you, and they're like, "Oh, Nathan, we got maths class next," and you're like, "Maths is cool," and they're like, "Oh, fuck, okay."
Yeah.
I
wasn't doing maths in this era. I was at uni.
Oh yeah, I forget you're a billion years old. Fucking Doctor Who was the only thing that got me through like wearing suits in sixth form. I was like, if the Doctor can wear a suit, I guess I can. I guess I can. Oh, Catherine, it was not good stuff. I don't know. Is this a local thing for me? What about you, Nathan? Were you?
No, I know that sixth form have to like, and I think it's more recent. They have to do like, they don't have to wear uniform, but they have to do like business like dress now.
Yeah. Which
Which is pretty fucking gross. I didn't. I just went to a college and I was just like fucking chinos t-shirt, you know, sort of shirt. But yeah, I only know that because I was going to be a teacher and then immediately stopped when I realized, oh, I hate this actually. So no.
Oh, hang on, kids suck.
I don't like any of this actually. So then I dropped out.
I love that it took you to that point. You were like, yeah, being a teacher is interesting until you consider the one thing that your job requires you to be somewhat all right at. And it's like, yeah, I'll do this. That's
not
awful.
for me. Not for me.
What else is going? Oh, just while we're still on Suit Talk, Rory sports obviously his stag shirt, which is very fun. But then I like that in between collecting him from the stag and him being in the TARDIS, he's found time to go home and pick up a nice gilet.
Gilet, yeah, it's good.
Or as my dad says, a gillet.
To be fair, I would also say a gillet. I just like the sound of gilet more. I think it's pretentious, but a little bit more fun to say. Really.
Yeah. I'm glad you've admitted it because I very much was. That's something I've been corrected on in my life. I was like, yeah, nice gillet, and then the table turns and goes, what the fuck is this guy? Get out of here.
I feel like I have to correct you on how things are pronounced all the time.
You think you do until this last episode where you swore blind that Denis Villeneuve's name is Villeneuve, and I found a clip of him saying his exact name, and it's not.
Did we go through that on the episode?
Oh, we did. We definitely did, and it was great. Because I was so confident, I was like, here's a clip of Nathan being wrong, and you were wrong, and I was in the edit, I was like, yes! And I was ill, and I had nothing else going for me these last couple of days, and I was like, fuck you!
Wait, so it's not Denis Villeneuve?
No, it's Villeneuve, which I said it was. And
that sounds wrong.
Oh, God, the man's name is wrong.
It sounds wrong. It sounds like it, because it's French or whatever, isn't it?
Okay, Catherine, I would like to ask you to join me in referring to Nathan strictly as Nathan from now on, and just see how long we can go. Oh, he doesn't like that. He doesn't. He's got a face.
I'm sulking now. What was you going to say there, Catherine? Sorry.
Just on the costuming, I like they didn't put I think like apparently it's something to do with the time period they're in, but because the Doctor's in blue and Rory's in red, and then like Amy's linked to Rory like visually with her red scarf, so I think having the Doctor in blue this episode, I don't know, again makes it clear that it's like you're meant to focus on Amy and Rory. You like match each other.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Damn,
we got someone who knows what they're talking about. Yeah. We like blue.
Yeah. There's funnily enough, for us to be so focused on like colours in Suit Talk, it's never like colour theory. It's very much just like, no, I think it looks better.
I like bright, shiny colours. Thank you. Where are you at, Catherine, on the 11th Doctor's outfit, Suit Talk for 11?
I like his this look, his first look with the lighter jacket. It's my favourite.
Do you like the blue or the red?
I don't feel that passionately about it. Like at
Okay.
a push, the blue.
Yeah.
Catherine, they'll cook you for
I
this.
I forget most people are just like, I don't care. Like, it's fine.
No, but like I feel like David Tennant's like I would have a strong opinion, but I don't know. With just like the slight switch up, I'm less.
Yeah, there's not much difference between the two. It is the exact same outfit, but just the color changes slightly. You know. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Lawrence, you were saying. What were you saying?
I want to talk about Rory's not very good 1580s improv.
This was great. This was great. I loved that he was so out of his element and just ended it with cheers.
Yeah. I liked it. It started poorly. It was I am a gondola driver. It was the entirety of it was so unsure of itself. It was brilliant.
He's good, man. I love Arthur Darvill. We said during our episodes on Broadchurch on another Happy Pod just how good he is, man. I think he's underrated as an actor, but
he's a sly little BBC chameleon that they just like kind of throw out there when they need someone to play like he can be an everyman, but he can also be very easily like something way above that, and he can lean into the comedy as well as the drama, really, in a way that is very, very, very good. Yeah, he's very underrated.
He can also be a CW action star as well.
Who's he in CW?
On their version of Doctor Who.
Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
What's it called?
Yeah. He was on Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, he was a. I was going to say Rick Flag. It's not Rick Flag. No. It's.
I'd love to see that though.
Oh fuck! What was his name? I can't remember his name. But like, yeah, he plays a time traveler on that show, and he's like, oh, I'm from the future. I've got a spaceship and everything. It's very much I was in Doctor Who. I'm doing this.
Yeah,
but he's good in it. Yeah,
he's
as good as you can be in a CW show. But
as good as they let you be.
Yeah, as good as they let you be. Yeah.
Considering. Yeah.
I mean, it's a CW show still. Let's not get carried away. But
that's such a cultural blind spot for me. I don't think I've seen a single episode of a single CW thing. Like,
you watch Vampire Diaries.
You watched all of Vampire Diaries.
Oh, I forget that they did shit outside of like that weird DC universe they were building for a million years. Yeah. What else is CW? Is Pretty Little Liars CW?
I think it's like weirdly not, but it's like Gossip Girl, like the OC, like that.
I love Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gossip Girl.
What else is CW? I think Smallville was. No, Smallville wasn't CW. I don't think. Or maybe it was.
I think it might have been. I'm not sure.
No. What else is CW? It's just like very like. I was gonna say edgy, but not edgy. More like trashy, like teen shows, like.
But they've got that, you know, that thing that Chinese food they add to Chinese food that makes you want more of it. They've found that, but for TV shows. Like, I'm sat there at the end of every single episode of Gossip Girl, and I'm like, what text will be sent next? What recycled plot that I've already seen could happen to an interchangeable character at any moment? Catherine, did you ever warm to Chuck Bass?
I'm a Chuck and Blair fan.
Excuse me.
Unfortunately, I hate myself for it.
Oh, come on.
One Tree Hill was CW. Smallville was CW. Supernatural is probably their biggest thing.
Oh yeah.
Fucking the PTSD I have from the phrase "super hulock" will stay with me till the end of time. Oh god, those Tumblr gifs back in the day, man. 90210.
Was One Tree Hill the Chad Michael Murray thing?
There was, yeah.
And he was. Hang on, was not Gossip Girl? Gilmore Girls ever a part of any of this?
I don't think so.
No, Gilmore Girls was ABC or something more. Not this.
I watched one episode of One Tree Hill, and it was very much like the American staple of like, you got to play basketball well enough to get your scholarship, son. And I'm also your dad and also the coach. And it's like, I've seen this a billion times.
This is just you just described high school.
It's what it is.
You just described, okay?
Maybe I'm paraphrasing because I watched it being like, this is definitely that. And it just, whatever was happening, I was like, no, it's what it is in my head, actually. Anyway, what's going on in Doctor Who?
Let us know your favorite CW show.
Please.
That's something.
Oh, Lord. Nathan, you really need to get into some of them, like, real trashy, like Vampire Diaries, Gossip Girl, like Pretty Little Liars. It's such good shit TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. I struggle with shit TV, because then I'm like...
But you don't know
shit.
it's shit while you're watching it. That's the thing. That's the spell. You stop the second you're not watching an episode, you're like, that was shit. And then the second you put one back on, you're like, this is the best thing in the world again.
But that, I feel like my version of that is Glee. Because, like...
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Glee is one of, simultaneously, the worst and best show of all time. It's so bad. And you watch that show and you are baffled by the choices that are made. And you're like, oh, this is cinema. You know?
Yeah.
I actually like can't express how much I loved Glee age 14. Like, because I met Alice like when I was an adult. I occasionally like go to her. I really love Glee, but I can't talk about it. I can't talk about how much I used to love Glee.
It was one of them shows that like it will be so bad, but then they'll hit you with the fucking that Dream On cover, and you're like, what am I? Come on, this is the best thing ever made. Like,
yeah, but then they'll hit you with the Blurred Lines cover.
Oh, God.
And you have the atrocity that is the war criminal Will Schuester working with school children down a hallway, and you're like, what the fuck is this show?
I think their biggest offense was probably the Nicki Minaj fucking Sue Sylvester cover.
Oh my God, yeah. Super bass.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that was. I remember watching that and just being like, no, this is. You've gone too far now. You took my kindness to like you. Don't take me for granted. I will click off this show eventually.
Gangnam Style was pretty rough as well.
Oh yeah, and wasn't there like the recurring joke that Tina never got a solo, and then like the one time they do Gangnam Style, it's like let's usher Tina front and center.
But she's not Korean, so they just
no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
no.
but they don't care. They were just
they'll just have her do it in Korean.
Yeah.
What? No, I think the thing that absolutely eviscerated me was that the what does the fox say?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, but they all had their puppets. Like, firstly, the cast have already like came out so many times and said like, yeah, we were drunk. We were so drunk filming that. Like, none of us wanted to do that. It was very embarrassing for all of us. But I'm pretty sure they gave, and like, there's a part of me that thinks this is cool and nice, but then there's also a part of me that thinks, were you taking the piss? They gave Artie's puppet a wheelchair, and it's like, it's so strange. It just feels very unusual. Yeah. It's like, this seems not good. Not good from you, Glee.
They also had an able-bodied actor playing Artie.
Yeah, that's another thing, yeah.
My thing that I always like to point out in Glee is there was that one episode where Artie got like weird robot legs, and they made such a big deal about the fact that he could like walk now, but then he was just never brought up again. It was just never once referenced.
I guess they broke the next day. Yeah,
they just immediately broke off screen.
I remember my mind being absolutely blown when I was a kid and watching. I think they did Michael Jackson's Scream, and like there's a dramatic moment where Artie steps out of the wheelchair, and it's like shot very much like a case of like, I'm defying all expectations, and I've got out of my wheelchair, and I'm an incredible dancer. And it was like, what's happening here? This feels nasty.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, no, Nathan, never.
Someday I'll get you.
You can compile all of these tidbits, and that'll be your show.
Stay tuned for Two Slushy Boys, a Glee Watch podcast.
Stop. What is happening? Amy's been taken in. On Doctor Who, by the way.
Oh yeah, we're back to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amy gets taken in. The gambit strangely works. It works well enough for them to be like, what's Amy about? What's this going on? Because they don't believe a fucking word of whatever Rory was selling downstairs.
Well, it's because little incest boy wants to be with Amy.
Yeah, he's like, ooh.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's they clock the psychic paper, don't they?
Yeah.
They're like, this is they're from the King of Sweden's mates or whatever, and then the moment which I think is just a good shot, which I enjoy, the moment where Amy's like, I'll be fine, and behind her you see Incest Boy getting out his fangs as the door closes. I think that's a good shot. That's a good bit of fun.
It's one of them like Doctor Who. It's in the background. It's like a little horror element. It's not remotely scary, but it's creepy. It's unsettling.
Spooky. Yeah.
And I think it's meant so that Rory can see what's about to happen. It's like a bit of playing with him a little bit. But Amy
because
can't
he's already
see.
Not fully on board with this whole plan.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, he needs to be his last shot of Amy. The last shot of Amy that he sees, it needs to be something a bit dramatic because my God, does he go off on the Doctor in a second?
Yeah.
And good. Anyway, we'll get to it. We've seen that. If you were wondering where Rory got his clothes from, his period get-up, it's very fun that a man from the 1580s is just wearing Rory's stag shirt, and it doesn't fit him very well. Like, it's very ill-fitting on him.
I don't know if it's just ill-fitting. I think the guy's just built, and he's just filled it out a lot more. I think it looks better on him than it does on Rory.
Rory's noodle arms can't quite do the shirt justice. Yeah,
little skinny Rory, bless him.
Oh my God. I do like that. What's he doing? He's sneaking them around, isn't he?
They're on a boat, I think, on a gondola.
Gondola, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
fun fact, is not a gondola. It's just a literally they're just on the street on just a bit of wood on a little track, just going across.
Oh, really?
Which is quite fun. Yeah.
I'll get him in a little rowboat. Come on. That can't be that hard to facilitate on the day, surely.
Well, I think it's more a case of where it's actually set, you know? I don't think there's actually a river there, because they're not in Venice. Spoiler alert. They're in Croatia or somewhere. So they're in the Cardiff of Croatia. So...
Where they went, where is the cheapest point in Croatia to film anything?
That looks close enough to Venice. Sure, we can use that.
It does the job. They've got the town square down. That's all you need.
Well,
yeah. I've got the note. We've already touched on it a little bit. Rory immediately kind of assesses the Doctor, and he obviously knows, like Catherine said, all the past kind of relationship and the kind of damage he inflicted on Amy. But Rory has immediately picked up on like how frivolous he can be with people willing to put themselves in harm's way. Like, he's very much like, because again, he was against the plan of Amy being in there in the first place. Like, his soon-to-be wife is just in a room with several vampires that all, like, it's a bold plan. It was brave of them to assume that the vampires wouldn't just either eat her or make her a vampire immediately. They have no idea what she's actually walked into, realistically. But I like that. I like that he's willing to just tell the Doctor that. It's like, this is my first adventure with you, and I already think you're a prick, dude.
I fucking love what he says to the Doctor. The way he just immediately like calls him out on it and says, "What's dangerous about you is that you make people want to impress you."
Yeah,
which is so true. You know, it's one of the issues that was brought up during Ten's run of like doesn't use weapons, but he turns people into weapons because they want to impress him. I think it was really good.
Yeah, exactly. And I like this time because like that was what Davros, the villain, said to him. I like that this time we're hearing it from Rory. So who is not portrayed as anything but just a good bloke. So if he's saying it, it's absolutely true.
Yeah. There's no way to kind of like, you can't misconstrue that. You can't write that off in your head as like, well, Davros would say that. Davros is a fucking genocidal lunatic. Like, it's coming from a pretty reliable, trusted source of what being someone decent is. Anyway,
enough of that. It's time for jokes about how my dick's bigger than your dick. Look at my torch.
God.
Yeah.
Look, I like that. One day, I actually really want them to commit to the idea of like a sonic screwdriver being this absurd. Like, I know it's fucking ridiculous.
What, you want a Sonic this big? This big UV light sort of thing?
I know we're going to get it soon. Not in podcast soon, in soon, real life soon. A different, like a switch up, a change, something refreshingly new.
We've already had it, technically.
Oh, are you talking about sunglasses?
you talking about 15 Sonic?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already had it technically.
Was it
I guess we have actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the Christmas special. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we are.
They
Then.
didn't make a big deal of it, but they were just like,
Here it is.
here's this Sky remote. Yeah.
Oh god, I love that he's very vocal. Like he's like people. He's putting that on his Instagram story, being like, "Please stop calling it a Sky remote, guys."
No, he didn't he?
Yeah. But no, I look, I don't actually seriously want them to do this. I just think it'd be very fun to have a Sonic of this magnitude, just this big, ridiculous, fucking ludicrous lightsaber type situation.
But did you like the dick joke, Lawrence?
I did.
Okay. Sorry,
I laughed. I'm a little boy. I laughed.
Because if they make a Sonic that big, only the richest of children will be able to afford it.
Yeah. Well.
Only those who get to go to Lorimer's and take their pick of what they want. Okay.
I remain quiet. Or I fall in trouble. Right. What's going on?
They're in the green light room.
Yes. And this is where we get the reveal that these vampires, just a load of big fish, actually.
Just big fish.
Boo!
Yeah.
Hate this. Just make them vampires, man. What is this? Why this? Oh no, they have to be aliens because it's Doctor Who. Fuck off. Just have vampires.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone's written in, but there's been vampires in Doctor Who before. Like, let us live.
Ooh, has it? When has there been vampires in Doctor Who before?
I think they've been in Classic Who, definitely.
Ooh, that's interesting. Bit of sizzle.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the classic Who's you haven't watched, Nathan. You've watched. I know that you watched.
I haven't watched most of Classic Who, so I've only seen like some of like the big iconic ones. But
you watch them like you cherry pick a random. You're like, yeah, I'll tune into this random series, part 7 in this story or whatever.
Look, occasionally you'll be flicking through TV and you'll see an old episode of Doctor Who on there, or an old episode of Classic Who on Gold or
Gold.
whatever those old channels are. Yeah, Alibi TV or something like that. You know.
Look, it's a crazy half measure, isn't it? For no reason. Like
Boring.
they go out of their way to be like, yeah, they're not vampires. And it's like, why have you made it harder for yourself? Like it's that weird thing of like they're not quite werewolves. It's also that thing of like it's not the Titanic. It's space Titanic. It's like, what are we doing here? Just commit to a cool thing.
But like, at least the werewolf, like, for all intents and purposes, yeah, it was an alien, but it was a werewolf. They're like weird fish monsters. They look shit. They're not as interesting.
There's so much less interesting. It just takes so much of the fun and mystery out of the episodes when they're like, no, actually, we're big fish people. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's kind of ruined it for me a little, I guess. But
if it was a graph, it'd be a straight line downwards of like how interested I was in these villains. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I guess you're a fish. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Like that's...
Yeah. And you're right, Catherine. They do look awful. They look just bad, really. Yeah. And I think that's why they have this weird perception filter thing on for most of the episode, because they know that. They're like, yeah, this isn't the best monster design, really.
I always think it's a bad monster design when you can't remember a single thing about it other than someone told me it was a fish. And I know the head looks fish-like. What were they wearing? Do not know. What did their bodies look like? Cannot remember. And I watched this like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we get a little insight. Rory and the Doctor are still kind of breaking in. We get a little insight as to what Rory's wedding is. Because he's actually speaking about like postponing it to a degree. You don't hear him say it outright, but it's very much a case of like, oh, but we'd lose the deposit on this, and this would happen, and we'd have to cancel that. So we can confirm, and I know that we see some stuff a bit later on, but we can confirm at this point that it is a village hall and there is a salsa band. So I for one am very much interested in like, does this shape up with what we see? I think.
I can't remember. I'm trying to think back to in my head what we see later. And the salsa band sounds familiar, but I don't know if I'm just thinking that because of what's been said in this episode. But
yeah,
I hope so. I hope we get to that episode and there is a salsa band there playing. I probably think it's just going to be someone on the DJ deck, but
almost certainly, because I remember there being funky lights.
There was funky lights.
Yeah,
The
that
Doctor was
typically
doing a
comes
fun
with the
dance.
DJ. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely some non-salsa dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As the Doctor's.
But you can't commit to that all night, though, can you?
dance.
Maybe we saw the salsa band come in, and it was like some people get like a singer for a couple of hours, and then they transition to DJ.
You had a good DJ at your wedding.
It was a good DJ, and he was like,
a good DJ.
The next morning, I had like a family friend of my father-in-law's, and he went, that DJ was really good, especially considering he was only fucking 12 years old, because he looked so young. It was absurd how young he looked. It was very strange.
Very young. Yeah.
He was a good egg. Yeah, he was a good guy, and a good DJ. We gave him a couple of banned tracks. The only thing he was absolutely forbidden from playing was "Happy" by Pharrell. I just cannot hear that song ever again. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So anyway, now that we've assessed, I'm sure we get more clues as to their wedding and how it will shape
Nobody
up.
tell me. No one put it in the Discord. I don't want to know. I'm gonna come and find out for myself when this episode comes around.
We're on the lookout for the salsa band. Vampire lore, Catherine, in terms of turning someone into a vampire, this is more lengthy than normal stuff, right?
There's many parts to it on this one. I mean, it depends on anything. Sometimes it's just a cheeky little bite. Sometimes you have to kill them. It depends on anything. One thing I did want to say is we've talked a lot about the incest. There is a genuine moment of incest in this, because the mummy feeds on Amy, and then he goes, "Mummy, can I share?" And just blood, like feeding is just like inherently sexual in like vampire lore.
Yeah.
It's all about base desires, so the idea of them sharing is foul.
That's a thing in the Vampire Diaries, right? They get if you fed on the same person, it's like you fed on him. Oh, that's no good.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's promiscuous, Elena. Stop it. Stop it now. Yeah, it feels very lengthy. Sorry, Nathan. What were you about to say?
No. You're absolutely right, and it's pretty gross because they do play it sexual as well, though, because they do all that heavy breathing afterwards, and they're all they need a moment to recover and stuff, and it's quite. I don't know how I feel about this one, Chief. Ugh, yeah,
I think the groundwork was there. It was always bubbling under the surface for these two, wasn't it?
Weird,
he was her favorite little fish son or something. Oh, yuck. Moffat, what are you doing? Stop.
To be fair,
This wasn't him.
Yeah.
No, but he's overseeing it. He knows.
No, you can't blame him if he didn't write
He's
the
enjoying
episodes.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's with one hand, apparently.
He's only the watcher of this.
Okay. What happens after this, Lawrence? I don't really like the transformation thing, really. I think I was really soured on the fact that they're not vampires, and then when they show us then all the alien stuff, which is vaguely similar to vampires, I'm like, oh, again, boring, isn't it? Just fucking make them vampires, man.
It's not quite yet, but there's that scene where the Doctor's like, so explain why it's also vampire-ish, and she's like, well, it's actually a lot of alien stuff. And I'm like, take this whole scene out and just remove the fish VFX. And this episode is immeasurably improved because of that. Yeah, I don't know. What is next? You get the I can't remember what was being said, but Amy and the Doctor are kind of like having a bit of a back and forth, and Rory just cuts through it. And I don't even think he's on screen when it's said. You just hear him going, "What is wrong with you people?" It's very fun.
Yes, he does, doesn't he? Yeah. That's a good bit of fun.
Yeah. Isabella can't escape with them. She's obviously allergic to the sun.
She's been kind of transformed. She's like halfway through a transformation or something. I don't know. But
of being a fish, yeah.
Yeah, being a fish.
As much as I love the gag of, I think his name's Guido wearing Rory's shirt, like, it is a real L for this man watching his daughter, like, basically be condemned to death while he's wearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That final image she has of her father is that of him. Oh, but then I guess, like, wow, he's put on his finest fucking portrait shirt for me today. Thanks for the respect, Dad.
Poor guy. Yeah, that was the whole reason he went there as well. And then he just had to, like, stand and watch helplessly as she couldn't come out. Yeah. But then the Doctor gets electrocuted by a door. So that's fun.
This The effect is so bad.
And the sound.
Yeah.
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 It feels so underwhelming, and then it's followed immediately with like, and again, to his credit, Rory, he's got that Hippocratic oath in him, and he's like, I don't like the Doctor, but is he fine? Let's check. But you've got Amy being like, is he dead? It's like, you fucking better hope not, otherwise you're stuck here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea. Imagine if he was dead. Like, imagine if that was as underwhelming of a Doctor death. That'd be very fun. But yeah,
Be a pretty weird way to end Doctor Who, just in the middle of a season, just electrocuted by a wooden door, and then he was never seen from again.
yeah. You just got Amy and Rory just living as normal lives as they could in 1580.
I mean, it's not too dissimilar from
stop it,
some
young
stuff. I know, I don't want to say anymore, but it's not too,
It's
We'll
not. It's not as big of a life adjustment
No, it's not.
in
but
terms of where and what. Yeah.
yes.
Isabella is then obviously. So she doesn't burn up in the sunlight, but she is condemned to walk the least threatening plank in human history.
No, but I love this scene just for that fucking great line. I'm Venetian. We can swim. I thought, that's so beautiful and defiant, and I love that. And then look,
She delivers it so well.
Yeah.
so well. She does a great job. It's one of those like really powerful lines. Yes, she immediately then gets eaten by a big fish. Okay, or a lot of big fishes. No, fish is the plural of fish, isn't it? Yeah,
Fish eye,
She gets
Nathan.
eaten by a lot of not fish eye. Stop this. So that does undercut the powerful line, but still, I think it's a great moment from her, and she's a good actress. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
I guess this is like in a sort of a way of establishing the thing, because we heard that there are 10,000 husbands or waiting husbands, I guess. 10,001 if you count Rory. Sorry, everyone. No, but
Are you okay?
That's a good little. I saw a swing and I took it.
Okay.
But I don't know. What do you make of this threat? It's kind of the omnipresent, just fish waiting.
Well, yeah. So the Doctor goes to see Incest Mummy, and then they like have a little bit of, well, here's my evil plan moment sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we find out that she ran from her and her people. There was silence, little sizzle, which like caused her.
Is the silence capital T capital S? I don't think so, right?
We don't. It's like it's vague.
I got the sense,
and I think that I think when this was written, capital T capital S was not a thing yet. Like it hadn't literally been invented, thought of. And I think it's something which has been like retroactively sort of like, no, it was always this. Yeah, no, we knew this. Yeah, but I don't know. It's
a crash
always
of Byzantium scenario.
Yes, kind of. Yeah. That works a little bit more, but yeah. So they were running from silence. We get sizzle about the cracks again, and basically their planet was lost or something. All the women died. And now it's just her and her 10,000 fish sons here, basically, to turn women into fish women, and then they can live in a underwater Venice, I guess, or something.
Are they trying to do like? Because there was a few things that confused me about this. Because the Doctor said something along the lines of the only the men survived the travel over, but it's like, so did the women die just by moving somewhere? Like, or did they die from the threat?
We're frail little people. We collapse at any given opportunity. We would all rather die than move.
Yeah.
Venice, apparently.
That's good stuff. Yeah. I mean, they never really explain it.
No.
And they never explain, like, how Incest Mummy is the only fish woman who didn't die, really. They're like, all the women died. Apart from me, but
I think maybe she prioritized her sons, so if she could only save them, she saved her sons, which wouldn't make any sense because like women are more important in like for a race to survive.
Yeah.
She's one of those weird sun mums. You know those sun mums?
Yes. Yeah.
Those very
Boy
weird.
mums.
Yeah, those very weird. Don't date my son, sort of mum. You know?
Oh god, and she would be absolutely like that. Yeah, just given what that relationship that we've seen. That is so strange though, because they have to. Again, I'm noticing a habit in this kind of episode pairing with last week of them working harder to make something lamer, like in the sense of like it just because now you have to write in a weird thing where you have to like turn women slowly into fish, and it's like here's a crazy idea. Why don't you take half the men and half the women, and then just make no one a fish? Like this, you could have done this very like without a lot of hassle, without all of this fuss.
I think they were just scared of delving into like the supernatural stuff in this era of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
They were like, no, it's sci-fi show. We have to have the aliens and stuff. But I'm like, it's boring, man. Just it's so much more interesting to just have a vampire, a Dracula, you know?
Yeah.
It's just dumb at a certain point because like I don't know, I just feel like vampires suit the episode so much more. Even the stuff like where they talk about the plague, like vampires like sometimes represent like disease in like fiction, and they'd be like passing on disease, or they can represent like they literally represent like the plague and things. So it's crazy that you like had this there for you and you just went, nah, I'm not gonna touch that.
Yeah. It does it a whole disservice, and honestly, like it makes just like the final like third of the episode just a little bit just dull. Really, like it's so much less interesting. I'm like, oh, there's a big flood or whatever. There's some bad green screen while the Doctor's stood on a building as it rains.
Boy, that's not good stuff. Yeah.
Rory having a sword fight with a broom is a bit of fun, I guess. Yeah. But overall, just the last like third of it, it's just pretty dull, kind of.
What does happen? The Doctor. I tell you what, I do really like the moment where the Doctor's jovial. Again, we say about this quite a bit that Matt Smith can switch it up on a dime. How he's like, she's asking him about the Alliance, like, you know, why don't we make something work here? We're two people that have ran away from their planets, basically. We can figure this out. And when a prior moment in the scene, the Doctor had brought up Isabella and the main fish mum was clueless. And I love that moment, how seriously the Doctor takes it, that it's just like, God, you couldn't even fucking remember her name. Like, that's any good faith you had with me, it's gone. And he's like proper pissed off. I like that how it's been something I kind of forgot about this characterization of the Doctor in season 5, that he's quick to anger if you piss him off. He's a jovial dude, but if you fuck around and he gets the hump big time.
That barely contained rage just bubbling below the surface. It's something Matt Smith is very good at. Yeah, he does it well.
But I liked it. I think it's a good scene. What do you guys think of his rage here?
And we've made some jokes about it. I liked this whole scene, and I do think it's Helen McCurry who plays Incest Mum.
It is.
I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah, she's also excellent, and I do like that we had like a scene facing off the two of them, like it's because it's the same writer as School Reunion, so it's the same kind of like when they had Anthony Head facing off against. Okay. So it's like I feel like it's the same vibe, and I'm glad that the show gave her, you know, something to like properly do and sink her teeth into with such a good screen partner in Matt Smith.
Yeah. Oh, because she's phenomenal, because there is that just kind of similar to Anthony Head. It's two people chewing a bit of scenery together and having these kind of deeply layered conversations about. They drop all kind of pretense and facade and anything else. It's very much a case of just like, we're some old fucking people. Let's just speak plainly, because what else are we doing here? Like, there's no like, I understand the irony of all of that being done while she's put her human like skin thing on. I don't know if I would have enjoyed this scene more or less if it was entirely played with the Doctor and a big fish. But then the same argument could be made about the Krillitane, I guess. So I won't be biased.
I'm just thinking about it in my head, and it's very similar to School Reunion. Now that you've pointed that out to me,
it
Catherine.
is. It's the same writer.
Yeah, it's so even down to like
The chips.
not the chips. No. The fucking Rose and Sarah Jane bickering at each other is kind of like Rory and the Doctor and stuff with Amy, and then there's a villain who are hidden beneath the surface, and yeah, interesting. Maybe this guy only can write one thing. Who knows?
Actually, it does. The cold open is basically like, here's someone that can't defend themselves. Don't kill them, please. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You love School Reunion, don't you?
School Reunion is fucking unbelievably good. It's so good. And I know I'm being hyperbolic and it's actually just fine, but it's great. All right?
I think it's pretty bad.
No, the fact that you think it's bad, I think riled me up more in that episode because I was like, you're insane and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah. I didn't like the Rose and Sarah Jane stuff in that episode. But...
I know, but it's dated and you gotta, yeah.
Anyway,
but Anthony Head, Nathan, he's
good. He's good.
And he was the host of Confidential.
He was the narrator of Confidential.
Oh yeah, but yeah, okay, you're fine.
Yeah,
he was good.
Anyway, go on. What's next, Lawrence?
The father gunpowders himself to fucking Kingdom Come. He's like,
oh, I like this. This is a good bit of fun.
This is a good bit.
Okay. not maybe not the best way to describe
Nathan's cheering.
No, I like it. I like a big moment, I like I'm Venetian, we can swim. We are Venetian!
Yeah.
And he just blows himself up. I like the girls flying in the window, but they're clearly just like stood on a box or something.
They were flying, right? I was so confused why they suddenly had the ability of flight.
Yeah,
like just out of nowhere.
It was quite confusing. I guess these fish can fly. Or at least people converted into fish can fly. I don't know what's going on there.
It just comes so naturally, doesn't it, to a characterization of a fish that they would fly.
Yeah. That's naturally what you think of when you think of a fish, They fly now. Yeah. There's that fun moment where they're all, sat around the table. They hear a noise upstairs. And then the Doctor's like, oh, they're pretty noisy up there, aren't they? And then... the guy says, oh, there is no one upstairs. And he goes, oh, see, I knew you was going to say that. Oh, no. Sorry, my mind's going a million miles an hour when I remember this scene now. And then just the fun moment where he just puts his hands over everyone's mouths.
Yeah.
Well. Just stop talking, brain thinking, hush.
Yeah. And then he runs out of hands. He just beckons for Rory to just finish it.
And he does as well.
Yeah.
Rory does it for him.
And then when he's checking Amy over, he gives her like a little humbug or something. Like he just feels like their mad uncle in this episode. I love it.
Yeah. I love the little sweet he gives her. But I do have beef with the we'll just close up this wound with the sonic screwdriver. Get rid of that. Just Sharpie her neck for the rest of the episode. It cannot have been that hard to remember that.
Yeah, I'm not often with you on your Sonic criticisms, okay, but I'll have to give you this one. I did see that, and I was like, oh, he's going to be insufferable with this.
I'm trying to start anew with the Sonic. Right, it's a fresh new Sonic. I've got to give it the benefit of the doubt, but it's committed its first sin, and I'm the tally's back up now.
Okay,
but yeah. I think there's a scene that's like kind of somewhat sad. It's kind of you understand why it happens, but at the same time you understand all perspectives, but it feels a little bit sad. Is when Amy tries to kind of be helpful, and the Doctor, after kind of having his arse handed to him by Rory, kind of snaps at Amy and is like, "No, this isn't a negotiation. You go back to the TARDIS. You do what I say you do." And kind of pushes her away, and Rory is appreciative of it, but immediately sees like, oh, I'm too involved now. That's not good.
I like that, and I do want to talk about that, but I just noticed and found a way that this episode is even more like a School Reunion in a very weird way when you think about it.
At least you managed to listen to the rest of my point. Go on, say it, whatever it is.
No. So School Reunion, written by Toby Whithouse, I think, or Withouse, maybe. he wrote School Reunion, starring Anthony Head as the villain, who then went on to narrate Doctor Who Confidential. This episode, starring Alex Price as Francesco, aka Incest Boy, was the narrator of Doctor Who Confidential for Series 5 of Doctor Who. Come on, that's pretty fucking weird, right? That's a fun fact if there ever is one.
All right, now we're cooking.
Yeah.
Now we're cooking.
Who in the Discord knew this already?
Yeah, watch the 3 emails Nathan didn't read out all say that, and is like just taking credit for this point.
I don't think they did.
I don't think it was. Whoa, what a coincidence.
No, I just discovered that myself. I was very proud. Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, let's see a test of your character. Did you remember what I said, Nathan?
No, yes, you.
Well, go on. Then please respond.
No, because you were saying about the moment like where the Doctor yells at Amy.
Yeah.
And he has that moment where I think he says, "This isn't a discussion. We don't discuss this. When I say whatever, you do it." Yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't think that he's doing it for Rory's benefit.
No, I know. Yes, that I like, but Catherine, help me out here. How are you feeling?
I get your point, but I think, and again, this might be just like bringing in stuff later, but not to keep coming back on Stephen Moffat. One of the problems I have is I do feel like they always infantilize Amy and make decisions for her about things such as her body and her consent to things going on with her body. They kind of make those decisions for her in big ways and even in little like small ways of like permission to hug, which I despise. So I don't know. I think my like hackles were raised, but I will admit I'm a bit sensitive because like one of the things they do next season is like my least favorite thing they do in Doctor Who.
So I love Rory. Okay, I think he's a great character. I really like Arthur Darville's portrayal of him. I think he genuinely is like a really good, for the most part, well-written character. There is just certain stuff about the way the relationship as a whole is written, which really rubs me the wrong way. And I don't want to get into too much of it, but there is a lot of like stuff which doesn't necessarily come up here, but comes up more later down the line, where it's like, I think Rory even has the line at one point where he says, the whole basis of our relationship is that I love you more than you love me, which is, I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
And I think it is written often at times like Rory's always the victim in this, which I don't think is necessarily the case. And yeah, that rubs me the wrong way.
I think it's hard because I think after a certain point, Amy makes a choice and she never wavers from that choice. So I do think like it's Rory's insecurities, but sometimes they do frame it like Amy is the problem here.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Like, oh, what a bad girlfriend. Let's all be mad at Amy because she's hot and Amy's ugly and Rory's ugly. But
which is crazy.
He's not, though. Yeah, he's hot, man. He's so hot. Have you seen? There was a clip going around on Twitter this week of a Doctor Who Confidential from Series 6, I think. And it's one of the co-stars of the episode talking with Arthur Darville in like an interview, and she's like so into him. She is so like down bad for this guy, and you can clearly tell Arthur Darville doesn't have a clue what's going on. Bless him. And I get it. Look, he's a handsome man.
He is an attractive guy, man. I do find it funny that they like the Doctor keeps. He did it in the minisode. He did it again in this episode, where he just like references his nose and is like, he's hideous because of this, and it's like, no, I don't think so. Like, I'd be pretty chuffed if I looked like this man. I'd be pretty happy.
He's hot.
Yeah.
He's hot.
Yeah, so like overall on this moment, like where do you think it lands in the context of the episode? It's very much, for me, it's like, I think it's pretty clear that Rory thinks he overstepped a little bit. I think it's he kind of sees, it's what he wanted. He wanted the Doctor to be more like, no, you don't put yourself in harm's way. But he sees how much it like just kind of crushes Amy a little bit to be told, no, go sit in the corner while we handle this. And I think he has that. He's glad she's safe, but it's definitely he realizes that like that protective side of him is quite a ugly side sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't know what I don't know. Is that I feel like that might be a bit of an immature read on the situation. How does it feel to you guys?
No. I think it's also part of like, he realizes, doing the right thing is staying to help the Doctor. So it's also that as well. It's, he wants to help, and he wants to not like abandon the Doctor in this moment.
Yeah, but he's entirely conflicted on like his feelings of letting Amy do the same, but like in his eyes, letting Amy do the same.
I like the moment for Rory and the Doctor. I like that we're not necessarily here in another Mickey situation.
Yeah, where the Doctor just laughs at him and is like, "Shut up."
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I struggle with that moment. And also, just to clarify, like what I said about Rory saying the whole point of our relationship is that I love you more than you. He's wrong in that moment. The episode is saying that he is wrong to say that. I just want to clarify, and I get it, but I still just hate the moment. I still just hate the line. But yeah.
You give weird people an inch, they'll take a mile in terms of like character writing. Yeah. So don't
you can see a lot of like just weird MRA shit coming from that. Just like see, this is why you don't date women, boys, because they hate you. Like. All right.
Oh god, yeah. There's so much of that, and it's weird because you want to be there. Like, hey, wouldn't it be interesting if there was like character dynamics that don't have to be so clearly spelled out for you to understand that this is a bad thing that's happening?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. I feel like sometimes writers do kind of simplify what they're trying to do because they're like, whatever specific group of people just run with this. And they're like, so yeah, my stupid views are justified because this writer said so. And it's like, no, you don't get it. Again, stop. It's like there was the entirety of the fourth Matrix movie and everyone's like, oh, and they say it's bad because of the very reason that the Matrix creators are saying it's bad.
I saw someone say it was bad the other day and I had to physically restrain myself from commenting. Actually, it's good.
Yeah. I think it's the most personal one and I think it's beautiful and it's lovely. Yeah.
And Jonathan Groff is in it.
Oh, another absolute fucking stunner of a bloke. What a man.
Soon to be star of Doctor Who.
Oh, yes. There we go. It's all connected.
Yeah. And there's theories about who he might be playing, which I don't necessarily agree with. But
I don't think it's true. I'd like to see it be interesting.
I don't think it's true.
No, I don't think it is either. I think they've seen a kind of a sharp-chinned man, a nice jawline on a bloke, and they've gone, must be.
An American in a blue jacket with a space gun?
Yeah.
Sure.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Do you know these theories, Catherine?
No, I hadn't heard that.
No.
Who do you think now that's all we've said?
Captain Jack?
Yeah, that's what the theory is. Yeah.
The face of Bo?
Yeah, no. You almost got me. No, that's not true. Anyway, let's speed through the rest of this because we're getting up here.
They saved the day, and it's definitely not all fake. It definitely all looks really real.
There's like it's just the fact that like the Doctor has to go up to the building to like stop this big like Noah's Ark flood scenario or whatever, and like the building it's like a domed pointed roof, but he's just like stood up there like it's just a flat, like he can walk around. He's having the time of his life, he's got, and it's pouring rain as well on like slippery tile, but he's just like, no, this is fine, I can walk around, I've got enough room to do this.
Nathan, are you familiar with Assassin's Creed?
Oh, for fuck's sake, no.
No, it's that though. I don't give a fuck. It's fine. It looks terrible, but it's fine. It's what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much because it's Doctor Who.
Yeah, it looked.
I've seen worse.
Somehow it was better in season 3 when the Doctor was going up the fucking Empire State Building. It didn't look great then, but it looked worse.
It was at night, which helps.
Yeah, true. But then they got enough clouds. Season 5 has that. Whenever they do clouds, it has that weird artificial look to it. Like it never feels quite natural whenever they do a weather change up.
You'd think for a show mostly filmed in Wales, they could
just get a cloud,
like just get a few shots of some rain clouds.
Yeah. Oh god, or at least know enough what they look like. That crew should be well used to seeing clouds by now.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Anyway, the fish eat their mum. End of episode.
Well, hang on, we skipped over the Rory calls the fish guy SpongeBob and then hits him with a your mum joke.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's good stuff.
That's incredible. Yeah. And then Amy fucking harnesses the power of the sun through the brightest solar flare you've ever seen on a mirror.
May I, during a rainstorm, when he was, well, I don't think it was during the rainstorm, but it was definitely cloudy at this point.
Yeah.
Like, that sunlight came from nowhere.
It's like fucking J.J. Abrams' Star Trek levels fucking solar flares. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that's not ever happening, but whatever.
No.
Well, so anything else to sum up, Catherine? Thoughts on the final
It's
bit?
just goofy. Just the final bit is just goofy. And then when the Doctor saves the day, the town bursts into a round of applause like they would have any idea what was happening.
Yeah.
And he's just up there waving to people as well. Thank you.
He accepts the applause.
Yeah.
This man stopped it raining by climbing up a building like a lunatic.
What a weird moment. Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
This is why I think this episode is a little bit lame, because it gets to the ending of like what Rory and Amy have to do. This episode has been trying to rebuild them as a couple in our eyes as an audience member, right? Get us to see them as two people invested in each other, trying to wash out the sins of kind of the last 5 minutes of last week's episode. But then like the moment where they come together to fight against this force of fucking fish evil. Their job is to, like, the Doctor's like, rip apart this chair a little bit, please. Like, and it's like, this is nothing. Like, they just have to rip buttons out of a chair.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I watching here? They don't even. There was no choreography. They don't even know what they're doing. They're just like, I guess that they'll make this look good in the episode. But
whole third act is just a little bit dumb, really. Just a little bit dumb and boring. I think best part of it is the Amy Rory kiss. I feel like that's, you know, as coming off the atrocity of last week, like, this is a kiss I actually enjoy and want to see. You know, these are characters that should actually share a kiss, and I think the episode is I was going to say I think it's earned it, but then also it has, but I don't agree that it had to earn it in the first place, because I don't like the decision that was made, but it was made, so I guess I have to deal with it. But yeah, I like the kiss. I like the moment, like, oh, I actually love you. You know,
if you couldn't tell
if you couldn't tell, you're getting married, so that's a big
from everything the
indicator.
writers have made me do and say.
Yeah.
The last thing I think is interesting.
Fun fact about that kiss as well. Sorry to interrupt, Lawrence, but fun fact about that kiss, because I watched Confidential. Karen Gillan is supposed to end the kiss, but she forgot she was supposed to end the kiss, so they just kissed for like a minute straight during the actual scene, because just neither of them stopped it.
Oh my god, they're both there going like, cut, anytime cut.
Yeah.
I fucking, Nathan, you might remember this. I had to do a stage kiss once where it was like it was an uncomfortable situation, but the kiss was to end the play, and the lights were supposed to come down, and the lights didn't come down for like longer than normal, and like it wasn't that long, but it felt longer than it had done in rehearsals, and I was like, this is not good. This needs to stop.
Yeah, it always feels like that.
Right. The last kind of interesting thing I think about the episode was the onus is kind of put on the Doctor that it's like, how ethical is it one city to save an entire species? You know, like you have stopped this, not directly, but you've effectively committed genocide here today.
Yeah,
they all gave you a round of applause for it. You suck as a guy, basically. I don't know where you're at with this. We know how sensitive the Doctor is. Most people don't take doing a genocide very well, but we know how particularly sensitive he is about genociding things.
I think it's an interesting idea. He did give her a chance, you know, like he
normally offers them like, I'll take you and find a planet. In this he was kind of just like, stop.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The power of Isabella. Yeah, you really fucked me off that you didn't know her name.
Yeah. But then she was like, no, I'm just going to kill myself, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, weird ending.
I've been on this show 3 times now, and in 2 out of the 3 episodes there has been a genocide.
That's Doctor Who, baby. That's how they do it, you know?
Does come up a surprising amount of times, doesn't it? Like,
It does, yeah.
oh Lord.
What's Doctor Who without a bit of light genocide?
Just a cheeky bit of genocide.
Just a smattering of genocide is a treat, you know?
I like to think of it in the writer's room. They're all sat there like, how do we end this episode? And someone's like, oh, we could always just genocide again. Yeah, let's go for lunch. Genocide them. Let's do it. Anyway, Rory, do you hear that? What? Silence. Shut up.
In the most ADR scene ever as well.
Like, God, yeah.
They recorded that in a podcast studio.
I know, like, the desired effect they're going for is supposed to be like, because it's so silent, we're echoing.
Yeah.
Ooh. But, like, come on, man. Like, I this is why I've been I think this has been what's in the back of my head subconsciously when I'm saying these crack teases are getting a bit much. They don't need to be everywhere in the fucking universe. Right, and then like doing another tease. This was not cool. This was very much like, what do you hear, Rory? Nothing. Well, I hear the plot of season 6. Anyway, back to the TARDIS we go.
I think it's interesting. I'm not saying it's executed well.
Okay,
I think it's interesting. I do like the zoom in on the keyhole, which then becomes the vortex as we have the credits. I think that's a good bit of fun.
Oh, am I hypocritical? Because I would have loved this.
You would have loved this in the Russell era, and you fucking know it. You would have fucking loved it in the Russell. So don't even dare. Okay.
I liked it then. Okay.
No, go on, tell me.
I think maybe just because it came after that kind of weird, like, shoehorned in. Whoa, the silencer are going to be a thing eventually. I think it just because it came after that, and then it like zoomed in on the keyhole, and I was like, are they going to do anything with the keyhole? Oh, no, it just became the end credits kind of thing. Like, it didn't reveal anything. It was just kind of a little thing, like, look at this.
It's a cool transition, though. It's a cool...
Yeah. This is why I'm torn on it, because I'm like, I'm fine with this normally. But yeah. I think it was placed in a weird scene, so it loses points.
What do you think about this ending, Catherine? Any thoughts?
Have they had it crack in every episode up till now?
I think only Flesh, Time of Angels.
Yeah,
Time of Angels is the one they didn't.
Yeah, it's probably why you're burnt out about it. I like the going into the keyhole and then to the credits. I like any time it moves like into a fun way to end the episode.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe it's just a little burnt out, and there's still many episodes to go.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. I like it. It's a good bit of fun. But yeah, I think this whole thing about the silence at the end, I think like this is what makes me think like, oh, the silence weren't a fully cooked idea yet, because like this isn't what the silence do, you know? Like this isn't how they operate and stuff. So I mean, I don't know.
I might be wrong, but I didn't think the silence were connected to the cracks, or were they?
They are. They are, in the sense that, like, where it all ends up, they're there. But
is it like the Cardiff Rift situation? It's just like that happened because this thing once happened in the show.
Oh, sorry, I didn't listen to what you just said, Lauren. No, sorry, I was thinking about Catherine's. Sorry, but now that I think about it, they actually are quite linked to it. They actually are linked to the cracks, yeah, quite a bit. Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
I don't know. You don't worry about it. You've answered it by answering that.
Okay.
Nathan, I think it. Right, I think it might be time for everyone's favourite segment.
Weirdo of the Week! Weirdo.
This is everyone's favourite segment of the show, where we get to take the chance to look through some of the weird and wonderful and grubby little characters who come across on screens each and every week. I think we should start with our wonderful guest this week. So, Catherine, if indeed you do have one, I never expect you to come with one, but do you have a weirdo?
I feel so basic because we've talked about him so much, but I did pick the weird little incest boyfriend. Yeah. But my reason is and I think this applies in real life, and sorry if this is any of your listeners, I cannot sanction a grown man that calls his mother mummy. I cannot sanction it.
King Charles does it. He's like, oh, mummy.
King Charles does it.
Oh, sets me off every time. I'm like, oh, I hate that. You are like 90 years old. Get a grip, mate. You know?
It's awful behavior. I once said this point in front of someone who does call their parents mummy and daddy. So you think I would learn the lesson, but I've not. I still hate it.
No, you're 100% in the right in that scenario. Like, there's no age beyond 10 where that's acceptable, I think. Like,
no.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, get a grip.
Absolutely valid weirdo. Yeah, 100% valid. Lawrence?
It may or may not be the same guy.
Okay.
No, not even necessarily for a specific reason, right? This guy was always going to clean up on Weirdo of the Week, I think, this week. Because he's what the segment was... Oh, right, yeah, you give me a face, right? But, like, this is what this segment was invented for, right? He's just... Not even for one specific reason. His whole vibe is just that of a freak. Just an absolute insane, weird freak.
In retrospect, I probably should have picked him.
Who did you
I
pick?
went for a weird niche thing again, and we'll go over in a second.
Okay.
But, yeah, he definitely is, like, a weird... I mean, he's a weird little incest boy. We talked about it, you know?
It's rare that incest wouldn't take the cake for being the weirdest thing.
It's true,
So,
yeah.
Whatever you pick, you think is weirder than incest.
Yeah.
Okay. God, no.
We can really scale you as a man here, Nathan.
Well, now you've put me in an awkward position now.
Go on, Nathan. What do you think is more morally excusable?
No, none of this is true. Oh, anyway, whatever. I'm just gonna go for it. So my weirdo is Rory's best man. Okay, the simple fact that, and I know this is kind of like the like weird old timey tradition, but having the stag night on the night before the actual wedding.
Yep.
Are you fucking insane? Are you mental? You should be in bed by 9 p.m. that night, okay? Ridiculous.
We spent we shared a room the night before my wedding.
We spent the night before your wedding in bed together, just like talking about the day to come.
Just both wearing far too little clothes in the same bed together. It was very cute. And then
It was very cute.
On the morning, I was like, I was up, and you just couldn't fathom why a man on the morning of his wedding would be like a little bit like hopped up on adrenaline. And you were like, you know, it's 6 a.m. Why are you ironing your shirt? And I was like, because I can't sleep, Nathan.
It's a ridiculous choice. What are they doing?
Yeah. Night before,
and I know
is
it's
wild.
like, oh, it's the night before the wedding. That's traditionally when the stag is. But like,
Not anymore.
yeah, no, that died for a reason, man. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They act like sometimes that. Where are they? Ledworth?
Ledworth, yeah.
Ledworth is like in the 1980s, like the stag doing the weird like pub, the like
The
kissogram.
Working Club, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very
Not
old
good.
society. It needs to catch up with modern day, I think.
Yeah. If you're gonna have a stag do by all means do. Just don't have it the night before your wedding, or a hen do, or any of those. You know, just night before the wedding, no go. Have it a few weeks before so you can properly enjoy it, and then the actual night before the wedding itself, just bed by 9 p.m. You know,
I couldn't imagine a
rest.
more stressful day to be hungover.
Yeah, do you want to be hungover on your wedding day?
Yeah.
Feeling like shit walking down the aisle?
That is genuinely fucking insane.
And then you gotta like fucking have a big knees up and party all over again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to stay. You have to stay up for hours.
Yeah.
Hours and hours. Anyway, yeah. Right. That was weirdo. Nathan and Catherine, as I normally write this down, so that was why that felt strange. This is the part of the show where the audience get to have their say. What happens is Nathan will read out a post, let you guys know what episode we're recording and when, and then our lovely loyal listeners get to send in their thoughts, and we can read out a handful of them, starting with tweets.
Did you say I'll read out a post when you meant to say I'll tweet out a post?
I said the right thing.
Okay,
and we
I don't think you did.
But
okay. Sorry to nitpick, but
no, it's fine. Look, you like critiquing me. I understand.
I do.
It's fun
I
for
keep
you.
you on your toes, I think. Yeah, I think it builds character, I think.
I think that's what a lot of bullies say. To excuse their sins, Nathan.
I don't bully you.
Yeah, well. Anyway, first tweet we have comes in from Alison Lewis at 3 More Henrys on Twitter. The first mediocre episode of Series 5, after a series of bangers, elevated only by the great Doctor popping out of the cake moment and the hilarious exchange. Did you kiss her back? No, I kissed her mouth. A line
good,
we actually
that's
skipped
good.
over in the episode. to be
Yeah, that's
honest.
good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What do we think? I think we kind of all think it's mediocre at best, right?
I just get the last half is once they reveal it's not vampires, it does just take
Yeah.
the wind out of the whole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's definitely
I'm
the
on
lowest
board,
of
I
season
think.
5, I think, so far.
I'm on board. I think it's a good fun time, but yeah, from the not vampire reveal, it really just like goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
Really,
It's hard to
Yeah.
pick up my interest, kind of back up off of the floor in the third act, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Anyway, the next tweet comes in from Carly at Carly Sacting. I think that's how that's pronounced. Sacting.
Carly's acting.
Carly's acting. It's another way of reading
Yes.
it. It's probably the normal way of reading it.
Yeah.
Rory's back, yes. Anyways, it's odd how this is the first time we've seen more of Rory and Amy's relationship, even though Amy's already been here for like 6 episodes. But it's a good episode. That is insane. I mean, I think it speaks to the character of Amy and what the series was trying to do, rightly or wrongly. It was very much a case of like, we said earlier that she's just putting off that day, and that kind of commitment's the wrong word, but she's running from the idea of kind of settling down and getting married. But yeah, what do you guys think of that?
I like that Rory's on board now. I like that, you know, like for the first half of the season, it's Amy's sole companion, but now we're getting into the 2-companion TARDIS team Pons territory, which is a good dynamic, I think. It's a good TARDIS dynamic, so I'm happy with that.
Has it been a while since we've had a TARDIS team? When was the last regular TARDIS
If you
team
count,
we had?
do you count Mickey?
No one really
He was there
counts
for like
Mickey,
an episode,
yeah.
wasn't he? Yeah.
Or Jack? If not, you'd have to go.
I'd count Jack, Rose, and 9 as a TARDIS team. I'd count Jack, 10, and Martha as a TARDIS team, maybe.
There've been like some one-off TARDIS teams,
Yeah.
you know. There've been like, oh, we're going on an adventure with a mate, you know?
Yeah.
And then there was like the Infinity War of Doctor Who, like with at the end of Series 4.
Yeah. So it's been a while since we've had a regular, couple of episodes strong TARDIS team.
Yeah.
Couple of seasons anyway. Yes, and the last tweet comes, and this is very specific to this week. It comes from Kendall Roy's Sad Pointy Ears. Catherine, welcome back. I have not seen The Vampire Diaries, but I have seen Jenny Nicholson's 3-hour video essay about it multiple times. That is many people's introduction to the show, I think.
That was mine.
Yeah, well, there you go. Have you seen it? And if so, do you agree with it / recommend The Vampire Diaries in general? And then I like that it ends with, also, good ep.
I have, of course, seen Jenny's video. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It seems crazy to recommend it, but it is so good. And if you haven't
good.
watched The Vampire Diaries and don't want to watch 8 seasons, just watch that because she is so right on her points. Do I recommend The Vampire Diaries? Yeah. Look,
You can't not.
I can't not. I watched it at age 14. It's a very formative part of my life, was watching this show. I think we all have to have high and lowbrow stuff. If you like watching easy to watch, beautiful people, 20-episode series, this is a great one. They make nuts choices constantly as they write the show. They just power through plot lines that should take seasons in like 2 episodes. So it's very easy to watch, but I cannot sanction anyone sitting down for 8 seasons of a show they are not that interested in watching.
Like, know what you're getting yourself into, but like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dud. All right, and that's it for the tweets. Nathan, emails,
Beautiful
please.
stuff. Beautiful stuff. This first one comes in from Sam Nixon, the very first person to email the show, I believe, our very first one. Hello, boys, and maybe Catherine, spelled with a C. I will add, which is
Wrong.
wrong. I'm sure Nathan mentioned it on the pod last week that you might be hopping on. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're absolutely right. Could not email in for the episode that solidifies why we love our main man Rory. 1, he calls out the Doctor just the right amount. The Doctor does put people in danger through their own willingness, so it's nice to see a companion hit back. 2, he gets an assist killing a Dracula with a your mum joke, which you just have to love and respect.
Yeah.
After watching the original 5 to 7 run at the time, I was disappointed we never got a Doctor Who and Rory solo string of episodes, though it would be a male-heavy TARDIS. The dynamic would have been really cool to explore and given us some great character moments. # justice for our boy Rory. Keep on legging. Sam.
I like keep on legging.
I like keep on legging. That's good stuff. I like it.
Sam, we're taking it. It's ours now.
That's ours now. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, no. There's an episode in series 6. Yes, the second half of series 6, where it's mostly just the Doctor and Rory for quite a bit of it, and that's a good bit of fun. I like that dynamic quite a bit. But yeah, that just would end up being. Oh, we're the boys, you know.
Yeah. I like it for an odd episode. I have no interest in like an all male TARDIS.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, you're absolutely right. It should never just be all one or the other. Really, I think a good mix is what you need.
Yeah, I feel like it would be like. Remember how fun the silly dynamic between 9 and Jack was, where like Jack was supposedly this beefcake and like I've got the gun, I have a sonic gun kind of thing. It would be all of that without any of the commentary of like, look how stupid this is kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I just pulled up the exact same email, the one I just read out.
This one's from Sam Nixon.
Not anymore. This one is from David at the Talking Pictures podcast.
And Brian Furiosa.
There it is. I literally paused so you could say that.
I know.
Well done. Hope you are all... good evening, gents and Catherine, spelled with a K. So David has done his research. Hope you're all well and glad to see this crossover episode, not seen since Journey's End. Few points on the episode. Think the Doctor showing the ID and it being William Hartnell was very funny and unexpected. Would love to see this more often with other Doctor Who, just as a way to reference that all the other Doctors he still identifies with in a way. I think it does happen again this season in another brief moment. And there was a moment in a recent trailer which I think might be sort of the same thing, where you see where you get jump scared with David Tennant's face.
Oh yes,
yeah. So maybe we'll see.
I'm so excited for that
think...
not to be a big plot point. I really can't wait for like that to be in the trailer, to be like, look at this. And then in the episode, it's just like a millisecond and it's cycling through all the Doctors.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. And I think that the vampire's teeth in this are some of the freakiest teeth in fiction. I can't look at them too long or my skin crawls. Think it's something to do with gums. Yuck. The gums do look pretty gross. You said that, didn't you, Lawrence?
There's too much gum. It's not.
Yeah.
It's the ratio is wrong. Catherine, what is the best fang? What's the best vampire fang?
I quite like the Buffy ones because they have like on the incisors, but they also make the other ones slightly like more fangy going towards it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not overly familiar with them. I remember them from like a vague memory of it, but I don't know.
I will say the Twilight vampires just have regular teeth, which is not very fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I was going to say they have weird, like, heads chopping off powers, but that's more just in, like, a dream sequence that isn't real, isn't it? Like that big fire at the end.
They do them in Eclipse, I think. I think there's head chop. They turn, like, into, like, this weird kind of diamondy ice situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's meant to be because they're super cold. And
they're like... They take the made of marble, so they kind of like break apart like stone. It's really weird.
Yeah. Do you reckon that like is like you break your arm, you're fucked forever. You're never getting that back.
They don't dare delve into that kind of lore.
Do you remember when they threw a baby in the fire, in a pit of fire in that fucking film?
Oh, that was Dakota Fanning, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Dakota Fanning threw a baby in the fire.
I liked
Good on
her.
her.
I'd take a whole Twilight trilogy on that character. Just walking around and being like, fucking love giving cunts fucking pain. Love it.
The thing I always forget about Twilight is how Anna Kendrick's in it. Every time I watch the first Twilight, which isn't often, but like every time I do, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, Anna Kendrick's in these movies. Well, she's in like the first one, and then they're like,
She's in like 4 of them.
oh, is she? Is she in all of them?
But she's not in the
there
last
we are.
one, but she's in 4.
But isn't she in like she's a fairly decent character in the first one, and then she's pretty much like, hey Bella, we're spending the summer not here in this movie, and she's like, all right, see you guys at the end of the movie then.
Is there more than 4 Twilight movies?
It was like in the time when they split the last one in 2.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so
of
there's
course,
3,
yes.
and then 4, 5 as the endings.
So 5 movies, yeah.
Fuck.
4 books. Well, 5 books with the new one. The
Midnight Sun,
Midnight. Yeah.
I want to
there
say.
you go.
So I
We know
want to
of
say
vampire
it's on
lore.
my shelf. I have never read it though.
You're still reading your Oppenheimer.
I know.
book,
I'll
okay?
get there. All right.
You fucking won't. The episode does something I really like, and I'm glad they didn't go down the Mickey route. There is a clear moment where the Doctor is pissed off he didn't get to explain the TARDIS, and it could have gone another way, with the Doctor disliking him from there. But luckily, they become mates by the end. It also gives Rory the chance to, in some ways, stand up for himself, and his relationship with Amy by calling out the Doctor on kissing Amy and stating that she is his fiance. Mickey never really stood up for his relationship with Rose. He was such a little fucking.
I don't think Mickey knew what it was. I don't think he knew if they were together or not at any point.
Mickey was just the doormat of that show back in the day. Yeah, not great. I really wish Amy would show any kind of interest / respect back. She's so disrespectful to him throughout, even to the point of assigning the Doctor to the role of her fiance and Rory her brother, ? These episodes make me feel like Amy has really settled for Rory and would drop him if the Doctor showed any interest, even as the series go on. I can understand that. I don't necessarily agree, but I don't necessarily think the Amy would drop Rory at all. But maybe I'm just thinking about the character and relationship as a whole.
I think it's more complex. I think on the surface, Amy might think that she might want that, but then I feel like the second, if Rory actually wasn't there, she would very much be like, "Oh, this guy means a lot to me," kind of thing. It's unfortunate because I do see exactly where they're coming from, but it's a case mainly of like it's Amy's written better, like her writing improves, and I also think this is only kind of the one real time it's not been great. Like it's unfortunate that the writers make her a bit cruel to Rory, saying things that are obviously intentionally hurtful, and it's a shame because I think it really has the undesired effect of that it makes people perceive that relationship as one-dimensional and shallow when really I think it's depicted a lot better in other instances. Does that make sense?
No.
Yeah. Well, I feel like yes, she does seem cruel in this episode, but we've not really seen much of their relationship, so you don't have that kind of inbuilt affection. So when I think jokes are made later on down the line, you kind of already know where Amy stands with Rory, and you know it's meant in a nice way. These are pretty bad jokes, but because this is the first time we've seen them kind of as a couple, you don't really have that. So Amy does just seem like, I don't like the word disrespectful, but not kind to him.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. David finishes off with a question. With Doctor Who now having dealt with werewolves and vampires and a mummy to come, what other fictional monsters would you like to see Doctor Whoified? Lawrence, I'll come to you first.
Shit. My head was going to say ghosts, but they kind of done ghosts a few times, more or less.
Yeah.
They've done the cop-out ghosts a few times.
Yeah.
Rift
if they
demons
commit
and
to an
Cybermen.
actual ghost. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like... I tell you what, and Stephen Moffat would be the perfect person to do it because I feel like it would just be a cocktail of something quite mean and not very progressive at all is if Stephen Moffat handled a siren. I think that would be...
Does he know?
Yeah, they...
Does he know? Does he know me?
Oh. Okay, well, we'll stop here then.
Wait till Series 6, my friend. Okay.
We'll stop right here. No, anything else? I don't know. I can't really... Zombies. Do zombies.
Oh, I was going to say zombies. That was mine.
Fuck you, I said it.
Again,
Catherine.
they may have done this in like somewhere down the line, and I don't remember. But maybe some like kids like I don't know. You could do the Loch Ness monster, like the Yeti,
That'd be
Bigfoot,
cool.
something like that.
The Yeti would be so cool. Like,
Yeah.
Yetis, yeah, that'd be sick.
Bigfoot would be very cool. Just do Godzilla.
Nathan, please, relax.
It'd be good, though.
Have you seen the new one?
No, I want to.
How have you not been out to see this yet?
I know. It's because I don't like going to the cinema, but
Yeah.
I should. I should go.
You're
see
being
it.
more patient than I thought you'd be for Godzilla.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say zombies too. Yeah, I don't think it's been done, or like any kind of like Doctor Who version of a zombie.
I know they
I
did a
think it
thing
could
of
be
like,
fun.
what if all the dead people were Cybermen or something, right? That's a little bit zombie-esque.
Yes, they are. Yes, I guess in that sense, yeah. And
And some old guy is like, I'm saluting you now because I'm...
actor, I forgot his name. Samuel French, actually, I think, who plays Danny Pink, has some good like zombie makeup. So, but,
Oh, yes,
but
yeah.
zombies would be cool.
Yeah, like clear cut, straight down the fucking line zombies.
Not Cybermen,
Yeah.
not aliens from Planet Z or something. Just fucking zombies.
I
you
can't
know?
believe these aliens that also eat brains have inhabited the dead human beings or something.
Yeah,
They've transmitted themselves into these humans that are dead.
yeah, yeah. There
Maybe
we go.
they'll do more supernatural stuff. Just thinking like, was the Christmas goblins? They were just goblins, right?
They
Or
were just
aliens?
goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were just fantasy goblins. So
Good.
pretty cool.
More of that stuff.
All the best, David. Talking Pictures podcast. # Justice for Rory.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. There we go. And finally, this email comes from Joel Jones.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so, dear podcast, I'm sending this email to you from an account I use for spam-free trial signups, etc., as I wish to remain anonymous. My name is not Joel Jones. However, I am an avid listener of your show, and I feel a need to confess the following. Vampires of Venice always reminds me of the time that me and a friend banged 2 Aussie girls all night and woke up so very hungover and absolutely spent. Sorry, the look on Catherine's face, that was amazing. We ended up watching this episode of Doctor Who the day after it aired. Whenever I see this episode, it always reminds me of that wicked night, and now I can feel relief in confessing my Doctor Who-related fuckfest sins to you both. Yours, horny Doctor Who fan. Catherine, your thoughts?
Sometimes we can all just know less about each other.
Sometimes it's fine not to talk, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay. Just not say stuff.
Fess up. All right. I want to know who this was.
No, you don't. Do you really?
I feel like I can't trust anyone until I do.
Is it a joke? Or do you think this is a real story?
I think this is real.
I think it's
Okay.
enough of a personal anecdote to feel real. Like if it was just
Yeah.
the first sentence, I could see it being a lie. But
Yeah.
like, there's a special line about like I always reminisce to that wicked night every time I think of this episode. Like that, you don't. No one's making that up. I recoil at the phrase "fuckfest" as well. By the
Yeah,
way,
me too. That's a bit much, frankly.
Whoever it is, I'm happy you had a nice night. I'm happy you can reminisce on it. I love that for you.
I cannot begin to tell you how unprepared Nathan and I were to receive this. We happened to be on a call when we first saw that email come through, and like full peek behind the curtain, we both just fell silent for about 30 seconds, and Nathan just went, "Are you reading this?" And I went, "Yeah." And then we both just kind of went, "Fucking hell."
Yeah.
Oh,
So there we go. So that's still got thoughts for this week. Thank you to everyone for sending in their normal and horny thoughts.
Yeah.
I guess we appreciate them all nonetheless. Don't let this be a thing. Okay.
yeah. We don't. No one needs
don't-
more confessions.
Yeah. This is not a confessional podcast, okay? I don't need your horny sins from here on out, okay? But hey, I'm glad you got that out of your system, Joel Jones or whoever you are. So there we go.
Oh God.
Well done. Lawrence,
Yep.
let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Let's go home.
Thank you very, very much for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, then please feel free to leave us a 5-star review. It would be very much appreciated. Just off the.
We
Yep.
speaking of, we got enough. Have you seen it?
I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, bring it up.
Someone has kindly. H.I. Wrigley has kindly left us a 5-star review titled Shopping List, the contents of which is free-range eggs, oat milk, ham, cheese, bread, bagels, butter, apples, bananas, mangoes, lettuce, cucumbers, carrots, chicken portions, potatoes, instant noodles, haddock fillets, ketchup, crumpets, shredded wheat, biscuits, cola, breakfast bars, shampoo, conditioner, moisturizer, shower gel, soap, bleach, cling film, fabric softener. I'm very glad that's a review we have.
That's so. Our audience is so fucking unhinged, man. What is this?
Unhinged.
Do we invite this?
I don't know, but it's unhinged
Well.
and inaccessible.
Catherine says we do, apparently.
Look,
I think you have to look at what you've created.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we should look in the mirror and reflect at what's going on here, I guess.
very much so. But yeah, if you want to be kind and leave a nice 5-star review like that, it'd be very much appreciated.
We don't care. You can say whatever.
Yeah,
No. Actually, I regret that. No. You can't put your horny confessions, okay? But,
Sweet
well,
Lord.
if it's 5 stars, maybe. You can.
I'm now reminiscing to the someone who declared on a review that they tug it to your velvety tones.
That was Pierce.
Was it Pierce?
That was Pierce.
Did we find this out?
Yeah, we knew that. Yeah.
Oh, Pierce. Come on, man. Stop. Anyway, leave us a review. You can do that directly through your podcast platform of choice. Apple is always good because they allow you to write a little message. Maybe that's a bad thing on reflection. You can let us know what you think of the show. It'd be very, very much appreciated. You can also follow us on Twitter at Still Got Legs Pod. Be sure to go over there to keep up with the latest cool things going on, as well as dropping your thoughts on the next episode that we are covering on the show. But if you are not on social media, fear not. You can send your thoughts, horny or not, to stillgotlegspodcast@gmail.com. Each week we pick out a handful of responses and we like to read them out. Also, there's a Discord server. Fuck, these are long these days.
It's getting longer.
Yeah, man. But this is
What are
what
you
it
doing?
is. This is just what it is. It's been this way for a bit.
We need to condense this.
We do. Be sure to check out the Discord server. Lots of cool stuff going on over there. The link is in the description. Nathan, we have another podcast, don't we?
We do. It's called Another Happy Pod, but enough about that. You
Yep.
can also go listen to Missing Mystic Falls, a very fun rewatch podcast all about the Vampire Diaries. If only there was someone here who could tell us more about it.
Yep. So same as this show, we recap every episode of the Vampire Diaries, talking at length about the hair choices, talking at length about the writing decisions, and who's looking the most hot each episode.
What more could you want?
There you go.
It's a good
If
fun
you're a
time.
fan of Soup
Yeah.
Talk, similar tangents.
Similar to
Yeah, enjoy.
Wait, what are we doing on Another Happy Pod this week? Just so we can.
I
mention
don't
it.
fucking know. The one that's just come out
Oh,
is
most recent is Hunger Games.
yeah,
New Hunger Games.
New Hunger Games, and then
Next week is
second How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon 2. There you go.
Lovely stuff. Yeah. Twitter, Catherine, it's Mystic Pod, right?
Yeah, Miss Mystic Pod, yeah.
Lovely stuff.
we go.
Well, it'll be in the description. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Catherine, for
At
joining us.
Kathy Scratch on Twitter.
Yeah, Kathy. We're getting all the plugs in. Kathy_Scratch on Twitter.
There you go. That'll also be in the description. Check her out. Check out her podcast. It's all good stuff.
Indeed. And when it gets me on, it will be even better. But
If.
hey, if.
Absolutely.
Balls in your court, Catherine. Okay.
Okay, I will make this happen.
I'm going to ignore the message when you send it now, out of spite.
Oh my god.
Thank you very much for joining us. Oh, hang on. What episode? This is a little tradition now. What episode are you coming back on for?
Oh,
Is this a tradition?
Well, no, but the last time it was like the vampires. We locked in the vampires a while back, didn't we?
we did. I don't want to come back too soon, but I do have lots of thoughts about A Good Man
Thanks.
Goes to War
Oh, which one's A Good Man
Oh.
Goes to War? Which one's that one?
That's
mid-season.
Series 6. It's the ending of Series 6, Part 1.
There we go. Nathan?
Captain Runaway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We can have you then.
If the hosts are in agreement. Yeah. No, thank you very much for listening, everyone. We will see you next Monday at 10 a.m. Goodbye, one and all. Nathan, press the button.
I already have. Goodbye. We love you.
Bye.